Chapter 502. I can see that. Look at Mr. Chen. He is so polite to Sun Du, second aunt sighed. The more she looked at Sun Du, the more satisfied she was with him. When the relatives saw Sun Du and the CEO chatting happily, they all nodded their heads secretly. From their point of view, Wang Zhong might have earned some money, but luck played a large part in it. On the other hand, Sun Du was chatting and laughing with his leader, and seemed to be a good person. Looking for help? Who are you looking for? Sun Du asked. Chen Deshang just smiled. He did not want to talk to Sun Du anymore. After all, he was still waiting for Wang Zhong to save him. So, he looked at Wang Zhong awkwardly. Wang Zhong sighed. He did not expect Chen Deshang to be so impatient. So, he waved at Chen Deshang and asked him to go over. The relatives were stunned again. What's going on? Sun Du's leader was summoned by Wang Zhong just like that? Mr. Li, nice to meet you. Chen Deshang lowered his head with a fawning expression. Sun Du froze. At this moment, he realized he could not see through Li Jie. Didn't I tell you that I will come after my father-in-law is done? Wang Zhong said. I know, but Mr. Li, I'm afraid that if I'm a second late. Okay. You can go and wait for me. 5 minutes. Thank you, Mr. Li. I, Chen Deshang, will never forget your kindness. In the future, if you ask me to go east, I will never go west. Chen Deshang was exaggerating a little. But for him to say that in front of so many people, and even his subordinates, it was enough to show how excited and nervous he was. When he left, he bowed to everyone. Sorry to disturb you. He turned around and held Sun Du's hand tightly. Xiao Sun, I did not expect Mr. Li to be your relative. Your position was supposed to be Xiao Li's, but I have decided to give it to you. Rumble. It was as if a bolt of lightning had struck Sun Du, waking him up. He was still bragging that his leader wanted to give him a promotion. It was all his wishful thinking. His leader did not even consider him. And now, because of Wang Zhong, Chen Deshang had promoted him. For a moment, his heart was filled with a myriad of emotions. It turned out that the most capable person here was Wang Zhong. To think that he had always looked down on him. In the end, Sun Du didn't even know when Chen Deshang left. He only knew that when he left, Chen Deshang whispered in his ear that he should say a few good words about him in front of Wang Zhong. Oh my God, even Chief Chen wants to curry favor with Li Jie. What is Li Jie's background? Although he was curious, Sun Du did not say much. Instead, he stood up politely and smiled awkwardly at Wang Zhong. Wang Zhong, so you know my leader. As he spoke, he immediately picked up his wine glass. You should have told me earlier. I thought you didn't have a job, and I even had to introduce you to someone. Don't take it to heart. Wang Zhong laughed and said, You're thinking for me. Why should I take it to heart? Thank you. Sun Du drank the wine in one gulp and said, If it weren't for you, I wouldn't have been promoted. Thank you so much. Wang Zhong pressed his hand and said, Don't be so polite. I still have to go over later. By the way, why did Mr. Chen ask you to go over? Tang Yaqing asked. Li Jie, if you have something to do, you can go over first. Li Lihua smiled. Her attitude was unusually amiable now. Seeing the eager smiles of his relatives and friends, Wang Zhong sighed. This was the power of money. Okay, then I'll go first. Wang Zhong left the place. After going downstairs, Chen Deshang couldn't wait to open the car door. The car drove out. Chen Deshang wiped his tears as he drove, complaining about his foolishness. He blamed himself for chasing Wang Zhong away that day and begged for forgiveness. Wang Zhong was not a petty person, so he didn't say anything. Then, Chen Deshang talked about the past 2 days. After his name card worked that day, it was peaceful. But today, trouble came again. His wife was also running a high fever. And his daughter even sleepwalked in the middle of the night. She climbed to the window and wanted to jump out. Luckily, his house had installed anti-theft windows, so it didn't lead to a tragedy. But after that incident, He sent his wife and daughter to the hospital and arranged for people to take care of them just in case. Everything was fine at first, but when his wife woke up, she told him about the name card. That day, the two nurses said that they had seen something strange. They were so scared that they quit their jobs. No matter how much money they were given, they didn't want to work anymore. Chen Deshang knew that he had encountered something strange, so he immediately rushed over. After listening to Chen Deshang's story, Wang Zhong said, "Don't worry. This otherworldly item doesn't have the ability to kill people directly. It usually uses car accidents or jumping off a building as support. As long as there are people around, it won't succeed. Although I've arranged new people to take care of them, I'm worried that they will be scared away again." Wang Zhong nodded. "I understand your concern. So, I suggest that you inform the people there to take good care of them." "Yes, you're right, Master." "Don't call me Master. Just call me Li Zhe. Also, I don't want my family to know about me." Wang Zhong had thought about it. His wife had become like this because of the people around her. So, it was better for fewer people to know about his ability. At the same time, he was also planning his next step. Since he couldn't find anyone to deal with his wife, he had to find other ways. For example, surveillance. Nowadays, technology was very advanced, and there were countless miniature cameras. When the time came, he could buy some cameras and wiretaps. Maybe he could find some clues about Tanya. The car finally entered a big hospital and entered a ward upstairs. As soon as Wang Zhong entered, he saw Chen Yun and her mother lying on the bed. "Wife, I've invited the master. You will be saved soon." As soon as he entered, Chen Deshang excitedly rushed to his daughter's bed. Surprisingly, Chen Yun opened her eyes. She smiled and said, "Dad, I seem to be a lot better." "Better?" Chen Deshang was surprised. "Yes, I feel much better." "I'm better too." His wife also opened her eyes and sat up. When she saw Wang Zhong, she greeted him. "You're here. Have a seat." "You're welcome." Wang Zhong just smiled. His eyes twinkled. "When did you recover?" "I remember that when I left, you weren't in a good condition," Chen Deshang said in disbelief. "We don't know. Honey, maybe when we threw the card out, that thing was already destroyed?" His wife replied, "Haha, you dare to show off your slight skill in front of an expert? I can tell at a glance that you're not a human." As soon as Wang Zhong entered the room, he noticed that something was wrong with Chen Yun and her mother. However, he didn't want to alert them, so he didn't say anything. When he came to their bed, he suddenly burst into action. Then, he came to Chen Deshang's wife and slapped her forehead. His other hand also hit Chen Yun's forehead and shouted, "Almighty Heavenly Dragon, Prajna Buddhas, Ksitigarbha Dharma I." As he chanted the incantation, the otherworldly item attached to the two women couldn't be controlled anymore and directly came out. The one who came out was a skinny young man wearing glasses and a school uniform. He looked at Wang Zhong with hatred and turned around, wanting to run away. Based on the description of his classmates, Wang Zhong knew that the otherworldly item in front of him was Yi Xiaotian. At the same time, Yi Xiaotian's information appeared in front of him. Discovered spiritual body Yi Xiaotian. Age: 21. Lifespan: 73. Rage points: 287. Spiritual body state: under the cowardly appearance is a cold and cruel heart. He resents that no one cares about him. He resents that people laugh at him. However, he doesn't dare to change. He targeted stray cats because he thought they were easy to bully. Now that he has become an otherworldly item, he bullies ordinary people because he thinks he's strong enough to bully them. Conclusion: this otherworldly item is stubborn. Suggestion: imprison him. As the information appeared, Yi Xiaotian's last moment appeared in front of him. "You want to ask me to go to the forest?" At this moment, Yi Xiaotian was hiding beside a trash can by the roadside. In front of him was a pitiful little white cat that was dying. "What does Chen Yun mean? Does she like me? Hey." Suddenly, he took out a bottle of medicine and fed the little white cat a pill. After seeing the little white cat faint, he laughed. This sleeping pill is not bad. Chen Yun wahahaha. He stood up excitedly and was about to cross the road to the forest. However, perhaps because he was too excited, he didn't notice a car speeding over from the roadside. In the car, a cat was quietly watching him. Bang! Just like that, he was hit and sent flying. Damn! Damn it! I haven't done anything with Chen Yun yet. Why did I die so early? The image stopped abruptly. Wang Zhong sneered in his heart. This cowardly Yi Xiaotian was actually so vicious. Where do you think you're going? Seeing that Yi Xiaotian was about to escape, Wang Zhong pulled Chen Deshang aside and aimed the judgment eye at the otherworldly item. Don't. Although Yi Xiaotian's rage points were very high, he was naturally weak and would only pick on the weak. When he saw Wang Zhong's domineering attitude, he was immediately scared out of his wits. A strong suction force came toward Yi Xiaotian. Strictly speaking, Yi Xiaotian could resist to a certain extent, but he didn't dare to resist at all. He couldn't escape either, so he immediately knelt down. Let me go, it's all because of Chen Yun. They wanted to trick me. Otherwise, I wouldn't have attacked them for no reason. You monster, you're still trying to quibble. Wang Zhong sneered. Show yourself now. Chen Deshang saw Yi Xiaotian appear and retreated to the door in fear. I'm not quibbling, I'm also being framed. You think I'm going after you because you killed Lu Jian? You're wrong, I also hurt those cats because of you. You've harmed creatures and are stubborn. You're a disgrace to your identity as a university student. A scumbag like you deserves to die. How did you know? Yi Xiaotian's expression changed drastically. Chapter 503. Yi Xiaotian originally thought that he could show some sympathy and perhaps get Li Tianlan to let him off. He did not expect Li Tianlan to know so much about him. Bam! Wang Zhong pressed his palm on Yi Xiaotian's head and said casually, Justice has a long arm. You didn't expect it, did you? In fact, there was a cat in that car. According to the image, there was indeed a cat in the car. Wang Zhong guessed that it was the cat that Yi Xiaotian killed previously. Cat. One by one, images of the cats that Yi Xiaotian had abused appeared in his mind. Unfortunately, before Yi Xiaotian could recall them in detail, Wang Zhong had imprisoned him. As Yi Xiaotian entered the judgment eye, his soul power increased by another level. At the same time, Wang Zhong felt a burning sensation on his back. This feeling was getting stronger and stronger, causing him to grit his teeth in pain. Mr. Li, are you okay? Chen Deshang approached him in fear. Wang Zhong waved his hand. I'm fine. Maybe the ritual used up too much energy. Looking at his unconscious wife and daughter, Chen Deshang said emotionally, Master, if it weren't for you, my family would have been destroyed. No matter what, I must thank you. As he spoke, Chen Deshang was about to take out the check. Wang Zhong waved his hand and said, Didn't I write it on my business card? It's free. How can I do that? It's okay. If you have the chance, just tell me more strange things. Master, I, Chen Deshang, misunderstood you previously. I didn't expect you to be so noble. I'm really ashamed. I'm just serving the people. Master, money is still needed. To Chen Deshang, money was nothing. However, at this time, his wife and daughter woke up. As Yi Xiaotian was imprisoned, Chen Yun and her daughter regained consciousness, but they still had a slight fever. Dad. Chen Yun woke up rubbing her forehead. Seeing Wang Zhong there, she hurriedly said, Mr. Li. You're awake. Seems like you're almost recovered. Wang Zhong smiled. Mr. Li, please sit for a while. You're my family's savior. Chen Deshang tried to persuade Wang Zhong to stay. Wang Zhong said politely, Auntie and Chen Yun just woke up. Take care of them first. Mr. Li, what happened to me? What's going on? Was it because of Yi Xiaotian? It's all because of us that he died, right? As Chen Yun spoke, she lowered her head and became depressed. Wang Zhong sighed and said, Yi Xiaotian only has himself to blame for this. Ah, why? Chen Yun, who didn't know the inside story, was puzzled. While they were talking, Tian Shuguang suddenly called Wang Zhong. Brotherly, we found some news about Yi Xiaotian in school. The police have found out that he's the owner of a cat abuse group that sells videos of him abusing cats. At the same time, they've also found out that he's the owner of a cat abuse group that sells videos of him abusing cats. At the same time, they've also found out that he's been buying sleeping pills and molesting many girls. This guy is a scumbag. I'll send you the information. I hope you can deal with Yi Xiaotian. Wang Zhong comforted, don't worry, I've already dealt with Yi Xiaotian. Just now, Chen Yun woke up too. Everything is fine now. Really? So soon? My classmates and I will go and see her immediately. Yes. After hanging up, Wang Zhong told them about Yi Xiaotian. Finally, he said to Chen Deshang's family of 3, according to what I saw, Yi Xiaotian's car accident wasn't a coincidence. He was killed by that demonic cat, and that demonic cat was also out for revenge. I see. Yi Xiaotian is usually quite honest, but he's a little eccentric. I didn't expect him to be like this. You may know a person for a long time without understanding his true nature. Alright, if there's nothing else, I'll take my leave first. Wang Zhong waved his hand, not leaving a single cloud behind. What a good person. After Wang Zhong left, Chen Deshang was moved to tears. When you guys are discharged, we'll go over and thank him properly. Master, what happened to you in the hospital? You seem to be in a lot of pain all of a sudden. Walking on the streets, Su Jie couldn't help but ask. Wang Zhong frowned and said, my back suddenly hurts. I'll go home and take a look. When he reached home, Wang Zhong immediately went into the bathroom and took off his clothes to check his back. What surprised him was that there was a dragon tattoo on his back. Did I become like this after cultivating the almighty heavenly dragon? The dragon tattoo on his back stared at Wang Zhong like a tiger watching its prey. Wang Zhong thought of something and shouted, Almighty heavenly dragon. As he chanted the incantation, his soul power surged, and the dragon tattoo on his back also slowly moved. Ah, Su Jie, who was standing next to him, was suddenly shaken and fell outside. Her soul power dissipated a lot. Are you okay? Wang Zhong hurriedly dispersed the great mighty heavenly dragon technique and came out to inquire. Su Jie floated to the door in fear. Don't come over, master. Your aura is too terrifying. Maybe this is the power of the almighty heavenly dragon, Wang Zhong said apologetically. I didn't notice, so I've dispersed the technique. I'm fine. Oh. Su Jie floated over and stood behind Wang Zhong. She said in surprise, it seems that every time you capture an otherworldly item, your strength increases a lot. Yeah. Maybe Gehenna relies on this to cultivate. It's also a kind of motivation. Otherwise, Gehenna wouldn't be so diligent in subduing monsters. You're right. Su Jie nodded in agreement. Then she lay on the bed and complained, Oh, my soul was almost shattered. My clothes are torn. Looking at Su Jie's shameless posture, Wang Zhong shook his head and said, You're still young. Mind your image. We're at home. What are you afraid of? Su Jie lay on the sofa and crossed her legs. The way she swung them back and forth was quite beautiful. I'm not afraid. Tomorrow, I'll burn some clothes for you. Thank you, master. You're so kind. Wang Zhong shook his head and sighed. Then, he went back to his room to rest. Humph. You like to look at me. You're pretending to be serious, Su Jie muttered. The next day, Wang Zhong went to the shroud shop. This street was full of necessities for the dead. There were shrouds, joss paper, paper figurines, and everything else. As it wasn't far from here, Wang Zhong walked there. He came to a shop that looked quite big. It was quite well equipped. There were various styles of shrouds and joss paper. There were ancient and modern heaven and earth bank. A little old man was setting up the shelves in the shop. He glanced at Wang Zhong and smiled. What do you want? Let's see the shrouds, Wang Zhong said as he looked at the shrouds hanging on the wall. This shop was quite strange. Why was it strange? In other shops, the shrouds were placed in packaging. The buyer would buy them if the color was acceptable. They wouldn't look at the specific style at all. However, this shop placed the shrouds like a clothing shop. Many of the shrouds were worn by paper figurines. They looked quite beautiful. Su Jie liked this place as soon as she came in. She said in surprise, "There are so many styles. It's so beautiful." "Boss, your shrouds are quite beautiful," Wang Zhong chatted with the old man. The old man was a little hunchbacked. He smiled and said, "When people die, they just change their way of living. They also have dignity. They put their shrouds like this so that the otherworldly items can pick them at first glance." "I see." Wang Zhong nodded. "Do you have any new styles?" "Of course." The old man smiled and took out several women's shrouds. Wang Zhong was stunned. "Boss, how did you know that I want women's shrouds?" "Haha." The old man just smiled and didn't say anything. "He can't see me, right?" Su Jie mumbled. She found that the shrouds in front of her were not only for women but also very fashionable. They were very suitable for a young girl like her. Then, Wang Zhong picked several shrouds, packed them up, and paid for them. Before leaving, the old man reminded him, "Otherworldly items are beautiful, but they don't have a good ending. You should let them go." Wang Zhong smiled and said, "You're reminding me?" Su Jie scolded the old man. "That damn old man can see me. Why is he still pretending? Scumbag, old scumbag." The old man frowned and snorted. As expected of an otherworldly item. "You don't know how to respect the old and love the young." Wang Zhong was speechless. "Grandpa, if you can see me, you should have said so earlier." "There's nothing to say. You're still young and don't know anything. You took this girl because she's pretty. Be careful or you'll get yourself killed." "Grandpa, you're exaggerating." "Yeah, you scumbag." "Why do you think I'm unlucky? Old scumbag!" Su Jie shouted angrily. The old man snorted. "If it weren't for this young man protecting you, I would have beaten you up already." The old man picked up a bronze sword on the side and threatened Su Jie. When the bronze sword approached Su Jie, she quickly stepped back and frowned. "Old scumbag, you're quite capable." "Grandpa, don't misunderstand. Su Jie hasn't done anything bad. I only kept her by my side to get some things on my phone and computer," Wang Zhong explained. "What are you doing with those things?" "I'm looking for some strange things to deal with." "So that's how it is. But you're still young and your magic power isn't high. I advise you to keep a low profile. Although there are many ordinary evil creatures in this world, there are also many powerful ones hidden. The previous Netherworld Masters died without knowing why. The previous Netherworld Masters died. Wang Zhong frowned. He didn't seem to have heard about this from the Netherworld Master. Could it be that the Netherworld Master deliberately didn't say it? "You don't know about the Netherworld Master?" the old man asked. "To be honest, I'm actually the Netherworld Master." Wang Zhong showed the Eye of Judgment on his palm. "As expected, you're the Netherworld Master. Kid, as a Netherworld Master, although your cultivation increased quickly after obtaining the Eye of Judgment, it also increased the danger." "Oh, Senior, may I ask why?" Wang Zhong asked. "Didn't the Netherworld Master tell you?" Wang Zhong shook his head. "When the Netherworld Master ordered me to become the Netherworld Master, he had important matters to attend to and had already left. Sigh, it's really not peaceful recently. I don't know how long my small shop can stay open." The old man frowned. "Senior, please tell me." "It's fine to tell you. It's not a secret in the Netherworld anyway. The Eye of Judgment in your hand can allow your cultivation to increase quickly, but once you reach a certain boundary point, the power inside will attract other evil creatures. At that time, it will be very unfavorable for you." "I see. My name is Li Zhe. May I know Senior's name? Just call me Old Huang." Chapter 504. From old Huang, Wang Zhong learned about Gehenna's secrets and also learned about the pros and cons of the Judgment Eye. From him, he also learned that some small incidents seemed to have happened in this world, which led to the deaths of many local Gehenna. Regarding this, Wang Zhong felt that he should grow up as soon as possible. Before leaving, Wang Zhong asked old Huang if he knew where some strange incidents had happened. Old Huang sincerely admired Wang Zhong's desire to catch more evil beings, so he told him a place. Behind a building the day before yesterday, there was an alley. Through the alley, there was an old residential building. That place was a Een market. The so-called Een market was actually a place where otherworldly items gathered. Knowing this place, Wang Zhong guessed that he might find some information about evil otherworldly items there. Because otherworldly items were the same as humans, they were connected to each other. One would spread the news to 10, and 10 would spread the news to 100. He could even mobilize other otherworldly items to help him find those strange things. In this way, his efficiency would increase. Before leaving, old Huang gave Wang Zhong a box of things. This is chewing gum. Otherworldly items like to eat this. You're a new Gehenna, and your strength is not stable yet. Be polite when you go to the Een market. Otherwise, some old urchins will tease you. He took the chewing gum. Sure enough, when Su Jie smelled it, she was so hungry that she stuck out her tongue. Wang Zhong looked at the material. In fact, the so-called chewing gum was made of a kind of incense that looked like candy. After leaving, Wang Zhong received a call from his sister-in-law, asking where he was. Wang Zhong told her where he lived. When he got home, he burned the shroud for Su Jie. Here, I burned the shroud for you. You can choose which one you want to wear. Wang Zhong said while burning the shroud in the bathroom. Su Jie stood in front of Wang Zhong. One moment, she was wearing a bright red dress, and the next, she was wearing a white dress. She kept asking Wang Zhong if she looked good. Yes, yes. You have such a good figure. How can you not look good? Wang Zhong opened his mouth. Why do I feel that you don't have any sincerity in your words? Su Jie couldn't help but ask. What sincerity do you want? For example, where do I look good? Where do I look good? Where do I need to improve? You have to give me some valuable advice. After all, you're the only one who can see me now, and you're a man. Su Jie spoke so confidently that Wang Zhong was dumbfounded. I've already burned your clothes, yet you're still asking for this and that? But I'm still working for you. I haven't asked you for a salary yet. Su Jie immediately complained, I've been working so hard to send you messages on your phone every day and find some strange things to do for you. Can't you just satisfy me a little? I'm angry again. Wang Zhong was alarmed. Did Su Jie want to be whipped again? All right. Actually, it's mainly because you have a good figure, so you look good in anything. Really? Sure enough, Su Jie was overjoyed when she heard that. Of course it's true. Look at how curvy you are. Whoever marries you will be overjoyed. Ha ha ha, hateful. I'm not that good. It's a pity that you're dead. Sigh, what a pity. Sigh, yes, I'm dead. I don't even know what it's like to be married. Sigh. Su Jie's listless look made Wang Zhong feel a little sorry. After burning the shroud, Wang Zhong looked at the dragon on his back again. The tattoo on his back was deeply imprinted on it. The color was very dark. Su Jie retreated in fear when she saw that. Ding dong. At this moment, the doorbell rang. When he opened the door, Wang Zhong was stunned. He didn't expect his sister-in-law to come. Yaqing, you're here so early? Tang Yaqing looked at the half-naked Wang Zhong and blushed. Why aren't you wearing clothes? Wang Zhong said normally, I'm a man. What's wrong with that? Besides, I'm at home. After rolling her eyes at Wang Zhong, Tang Yaqing entered the house. I didn't expect you to live here. Not bad. Not bad. What are you doing here? I want to talk to you about something. My parents said that if you want, you can move back. Wang Zhong quickly waved his hand. I'm fine with living here. What about my sister? My parents asked when you want children. Children? Wang Zhong was a little confused. Tang Yaqing said seriously, my parents think that you have the ability to have children now, so they said that you can let them have grandchildren as soon as possible. That's too fast. Wang Zhong sighed in his heart. His parents-in-law must have thought that he was reliable now, so they started to urge him to have grandchildren. This was actually good intentions, but he didn't want to do it so early. It's not that fast. You've been married for so long. Before he could finish, Tang Yaqing exclaimed, Ah! On your back, on your back. What's wrong? Wang Zhong frowned. Why was his sister-in-law so surprised? You have tattoos. After saying this, Tang Yaqing's face was bright red. With so many tattoos, coupled with Wang Zhong's strong muscles, this look was too sexy, right? Oh, that's what you're talking about. Wang Zhong didn't deny it and said, How is it? Does it look good? It looks like a hooligan. Saying this, Tang Yaqing looked around and asked curiously, Why is there no food in your house? Oh, I don't cook. I eat downstairs. How can there be oil if you eat outside every day? Why don't you go back? As long as you're motivated, Dad and Mom won't blame you. I need to work. It's not convenient to be at home. Oh, okay then. You rest more. Just as they were talking, Tang Yaqing's phone rang. She picked up the phone. After hearing the voice on the other end of the phone, she suddenly covered her mouth in surprise. What? Wang Wan is dead? Dead %yen %. The voice on the other end of the phone seemed to be very anxious. Wang Zhong only heard the word, dead. There was a lot of noise and he couldn't hear clearly. Plop. Tang Yaqing sat on the sofa weakly. I got it. I'll go to the morgue later. After hanging up the phone, Tang Yaqing cried directly. What's wrong? Wang Zhong sat on the side and frowned. My best friend and my colleague in the shop, Wang Wan, is dead. How did she die? It was an accident. A baseball suddenly fell from the sky and hit her to death. Such a coincidence? Yeah, boo-hoo. Tang Yaqing cried. She was my best friend. I didn't expect. Boo-hoo. Saying this, Tang Yaqing was about to leave and go to the morgue to see her one last time. Seeing Tang Yaqing crying so miserably, Wang Zhong was worried and said, Why don't I drive? You're not in the right state. Tang Yaqing nodded slightly and cried, Thank you. When they arrived at the morgue, several of Wang Wan's friends were already gathered there. They were all Tang Yaqing's friends and were very familiar with each other. After hearing the news, they all rushed over. After entering the morgue, when the doctor lifted the white cloth on Wang Wan's body, everyone in the room cried. There was a big hole in Wang Wan's head, and her face was smashed out of shape. The blood had already dried up. It was obvious that she was killed by a heavy object. So pitiful. Su Jie looked at Wang Wan and sighed. I don't know where her soul went. Fong Lingling, weren't you and Wang Wan working together just now? How did she suddenly get hit to death? Tang Yaqing turned to look at the crying Fong Lingling and asked. She said she was a little hungry, so she went across to buy something to eat. But a baseball suddenly fell from the sky. Was it something falling from a high altitude? Fong Lingling shook her head and said, She bought Liangpi on the side of the road, not near the building. Then why did a baseball hit her head? Tang Yaqing was very puzzled. I'm not sure, but there's a football field nearby. People often play baseball there. Maybe someone hit it? A friend on the side said. Poor Wang Wan. Just because she wanted to eat Liangpi, she died just like that. Tang Yaqing sighed. No, this can't be. At this time, a man in a suit shook his head and seemed to be in disbelief. Li Mingho, what's wrong with you? Fong Lingling was puzzled. It's the second one. It's too coincidental. Li Mingho shook his head, looking very nervous. What second one? What's too coincidental? Yeah, Li Mingho, What's wrong with you? Wang Wan is your girlfriend. Why are you talking nonsense at this time? Facing the questioning of his friends, Li Mingho took out his phone and said, "Last weekend, we went camping. After going up the mountain, we encountered a rainstorm. We temporarily stayed in a dilapidated old temple. There, one of our friends suddenly said that they wanted to play a fortune-telling game. This is it." Li Mingho took out his phone and opened an interface. The interface was very simple. On it was written, "Predict how you will die." Li Mingho continued, "Because we can predict how everyone will die, we thought it was quite fun, so we said play." My friend predicted a rock. Just 2 days ago, he was hit by a rock on the road by a truck and died on the spot. Tang Yaqing was shocked. What about Wang Wan? What did she predict? Baseball. Hiss. Inside the ward, a few of his friends gasped in shock. Wang Zhong frowned and said, "Your friend predicted a rock and Wang Wan predicted a baseball. Both of them were killed by the things they predicted? That's too coincidental." Yeah, what's going on? The temperature in the morgue was cold enough, but after listening to Li Mingho's story, they felt even colder. Haven't we all played this game? At this time, Tang Yaqing suddenly spoke. You played it too? Wang Zhong turned his head. Tang Yaqing nodded. When Wang Wan was at work, she said that this software is very interesting. She also said that her friend predicted that he would die because of a rock. He really did die because of a rock, so she asked us to play. What did you predict? Li Mingho quickly said, I predicted that I might drown, so I must stay away from the river for the next few days. Chapter 505. I've played it before. I got a piece of wood. Oh my God, what should I do? I got a child. Do I have to stay away from the child? Everyone spoke in fear. Wang Zhong pondered deeply. It was obvious that the so-called fortune-telling was probably not real fortune-telling. It was the same as the previous incident. The evil thing he encountered wanted half of his things. It seemed very strange, but this was the evil thing's rule. And now, this evil thing seemed to be telling people's fortunes and how everyone would die in an accident. But if there were too many accidents, then it would not be an accident anymore. Yaqing, what did you get? Wang Zhong asked. What I calculated was rice. Rice. Wang Zhong furrowed his brows. It's too strange. Yaqing, you can't eat now. Otherwise, you'll choke to death. What should we do then? Tang Yaqing was about to cry. Woo-woo, it can't be. We met something evil? What are you all afraid of? These are all fake. How is this possible? At this moment, a fat boy spoke. Fatty, I remember that you got a drumstick in your fortune-telling, right? Let me tell you, it's better to be safe than sorry. Don't eat drumsticks in the future. Li Mingho kindly reminded. The fatty wore a pair of glasses. Not only was he fat, but he was also tall. He looked at Li Mingho in disdain and said, This is all an accident. It's just a lousy app. Do you really think it's something evil? I believe in science and don't believe in this mess. Sigh, no matter what, let's wait for the search department to come and check. Li Mingho said helplessly. Soon, the search department people came over. After a series of inquiries, they concluded that it was an accident. The reason was very simple. At the scene, they compared the baseball with the soil on it and found that the baseball came from a building at the side. After that, the baseball fell and seemed to be blown by the wind, and it just happened to hit Wang Wan's head. Unfortunately, the search department people were unable to find out who the baseball belonged to. After that, Li Mingho showed the software to the people in the search department. Towards this kind of software, the search department expressed that it was very boring and even said that it was all an accident. In the end, the matter was left unsettled. On the way back, Wang Zhong expressed his views on this matter. There must be something strange about this. Tang Yaqing, you may have been targeted. Tang Yaqing frowned. You've got your eyes on him? That's right. There are evil things in this world. You just don't know about it. Then how do you know? Wang Zhong thought for a moment and said, I had some fortuitous encounters recently. No wonder you've become so strange recently. Can you tell me about it? No. Then forget it. I still don't believe it. Even if I eat, what can you do to me? I don't believe that I can really choke to death because of rice. Don't leave me these days. Tisk, who do you think you are? Tang Yacheng frowned. It was not that she hated Wang Zhong now, but she felt that Wang Zhong was her brother-in-law. How could she get too close to him? This is for your own good. Even if you're doing it for my own good, what can you do to solve this matter? Looking at Tang Yacheng's serious eyes, Wang Zhong knew that he had to tell the truth. Actually, I fell down before and saw some dirty things. Pfft. Li Jie, you're too good at bragging. You still don't believe me? How about this? I'll take you to a place. Turn right ahead and park there. In front of them was the location of the Yin market. After parking the car, Tang Yacheng asked suspiciously, Why are we in this alley? Wang Zhong said lightly, You don't believe me, right? I'll show you something. With that, Wang Zhong walked in. This fellow is still trying to play tricks on me? Tang Yacheng looked at Wang Zhong's back, snorted, and walked in. Wang Zhong held some gum in his hand. As soon as he entered the alley, he could feel the gloomy atmosphere nearby. Not far from him, there were children, women, and men squatting around with expressionless faces. Some of them were talking, some were walking, some were floating, and some were hissing. However, ordinary people couldn't sense these people and their voices. They could only feel that the temperature here was very cold. There's an idiot here, said a fat man. The woman next to him said, Honey, there's a B*TCH behind that idiot. Are they here to make out? Haha, I'm just teasing them. Tang Yacheng took several steps forward. Suddenly, a gust of wind blew, lifting her skirt. Ah! Why is there such a strange wind? Tang Yacheng screamed. She was embarrassed because Wang Zhong was right next to her. Wang Zhong suddenly shouted at the otherworldly item next to Tang Yacheng, who was lifting her skirt. You too, if you dare to mess around, I'll kill you. Ah, that guy can see us. Who's that? Many otherworldly items curiously looked over. Li Jie, are you okay? Tang Yacheng asked strangely. She suddenly felt scared. Just now, 2 stupid things harassed you, answered Wang Zhong. You. What nonsense are you talking about? You don't believe me? Tang Yacheng shook her head stubbornly. Wang Zhong smiled and said to the 2 otherworldly items, It depends on your performance. The otherworldly items living in this place were smart. They immediately understood that Wang Zhong wanted them to mess with Tang Yacheng. They didn't dare to hesitate. The couple pulled Tang Yacheng's skirt one after another. Rip. Their movements were too big. Her skirt was ripped open. Tang Yacheng was dumbfounded. Wang Zhong was speechless. He shouted, Do you have to be so fierce? Ah, I'm sorry. They were just 2 small otherworldly items. Feeling Wang Zhong's domineering aura, they were so scared that they kept kowtowing. Ghost. Tang Yacheng didn't dare to linger. She turned around and ran out. Wait a minute. Wang Zhong threw the gum away and ran out. The gum fell to the ground. Countless otherworldly items dashed over and nibbled on it. Those things are real. Tang Yacheng got into the car. She was so scared that she shivered. She sobbed, Boo-hoo. My skirt. You don't believe me, right? You can't blame me for that, explained Wang Zhong. You did it on purpose. You deliberately let them pull my skirt. Wang Zhong didn't know what to say. Now, Wang Zhong knew that he couldn't defend himself. All right. The most important thing now is to deal with your problem. According to my experience, you guys are being pestered by something. What is it after all? We need to investigate it. Before that, we'll sleep together. Bah! I knew you didn't have good intentions. Tang Yacheng was indignant. I'm your sister-in-law. How could you do that to me? Are you even human? You're a beast. Wang Zhong didn't know what to say. Wasn't this Tang Yaqing too unreasonable? Wang Zhong didn't know what to say. He explained, "Can you not be so agitated? I mean, we have to stay together. We have to stay in the same room. It's not a mess like you think." Really? Tang Yaqing was skeptical. You've seen the truth. I'm not an ordinary person now. What you guys have encountered is even stranger. If this continues, I'm afraid all of you who have played that fortune-telling game will encounter accidents. Tang Yaqing didn't say anything. She lowered her head and pondered. After a long time she said, "So, why don't you move back? You don't want to bring this kind of strange thing to your parents, do you? And your sister?" Tang Yaqing thought about it and agreed. Wang Zhong said, "So, you have to move to my place. But don't worry. I'll deal with your problem as soon as possible. After I'm done, you can move out." "Li Xie, why are you doing this? Why are you helping me?" asked Tang Yaqing. "Because I'm different from before," Wang Zhong answered ambiguously. "Besides, you're my sister-in-law. Shouldn't we help each other as a family?" Tang Yaqing nodded slightly. That day, Tang Yaqing went home to pack her things. As for Wang Zhong, he went to the electronic shopping mall and bought a lot of miniature cameras. When he bought them, the shop owner stared at him suspiciously. He also sternly stated that this kind of thing couldn't be used for illegal things. After buying, Wang Zhong went home. While Tang Yaqing was packing, he installed a camera in the corner of his wife's house. "Honey, what are you doing?" Tang Yaqing smiled foolishly. "Honey, you and Sister Lan stay at home. Be good, okay?" Tang Yaqing nodded suspiciously. At the door, Tang Yaqing sighed. After saying goodbye to Tang Yaqing, the two of them left. Of course, when they left, Tang Yaqing told her parents that she was going on a business trip. She didn't say that she was staying at Wang Zhong's house. Wang Zhong was really not used to having one more person at home. The biggest thing he wasn't used to was eating. He didn't need to eat, but he couldn't say it out loud. So every time he ate, he would wolf down the food and spit it all out when he went back to the room. At night, Wang Zhong took Tang Yaqing's phone and entered the How Will You Die app page. "Yaqing, send this game to me. I want to see how it will deal with me," Wang Zhong said. Tang Yaqing was cleaning up the dishes and came out. She frowned and said, "I don't think so. It's too dangerous." "It's fine." Without waiting for Tang Yaqing to speak, Wang Zhong sent over the game on his phone. "You?" Tang Yaqing was inexplicably touched. Her brother-in-law was willing to take the risk to download this dangerous software for her. This courage was really... Wang Zhong downloaded the software. The operation was very simple. After entering his name, it would turn on the front camera and take a selfie. Then, below the photo, there would be a message about how he would die in the future. After the operation, Su Jie muttered behind him, "It doesn't look strange." "Yeah, that's why it's strange." Tang Yaqing also stood behind Wang Zhong and watched nervously. Soon, a message appeared on the phone. Seeing this message, everyone was stunned. It showed, "Airplane." Chapter 506. Plane. Tang Yaqing frowned. "Li Xie, it seems you'll have to stay away from planes in the future." "That's ridiculous. Do you think I'll die in a plane crash?" Wang Zhong said. "It's possible that the plane will fall." Wang Zhong shook his head and said, "Rest early." "Then I'm going to rest." Tang Yaqing went into the house. Wang Zhong, on the other hand, took his name card and pasted it everywhere. The next few days were peaceful, which made Tang Yaqing more and more suspicious that everything was an accident. Wang Zhong's days were quite fulfilling. He went to Yin City several times and dealt with several disobedient otherworldly items. When he left, he asked Su Jie to follow Tang Yaqing. Everything was peaceful. 10 days later, a phone call came. Li Mingho had an accident. When they arrived at Li Mingho's house, the police had also arrived. Li Mingho was dead in his bathroom. The floor was full of water, and a broken wire fell on the water. It was obvious that Li Mingho was electrocuted to death. The person who found his body was his mother. She knocked on the door in the morning, but Li Mingho didn't open the door. She couldn't get through to his phone. She was worried, so she called a locksmith. When they went in, they were stunned. Li Mingho was electrocuted to death. He's really dead. How is this possible? A friend burst into tears. He really died from the water. If it weren't for the water on the floor, the electricity wouldn't have touched him, Tang Yaqing said distractedly. Although it was a little different from what they had guessed at the beginning, it was true that he died from the water. After the investigation, there was no sign of struggle or fighting, so they concluded that it was an accident. Li Mingho was taking a shower in the bathroom because of the leak in the wire. Then, the water came into contact with the leak, causing an electric shock. It's really a perfect way to kill someone. After returning home, Wang Zhong sighed with emotion. Then, he took out a pen and paper and began to record. So far, 3 people had died. The first victim was hit by a rock and was killed on the spot by a rock that flew out from the car. The second victim was killed by a baseball that fell from the sky. The third victim, Li Mingho, was electrocuted to death because he divined water. The 3 incidents seemed to be coincidences, but they were too coincidental. The fortune teller seemed to be accurate, but he was sure that there was an otherworldly item behind the murders. Unfortunately, he couldn't find any problems just by looking at the phone software. Hey Li Jie, what do you think we should do? Tang Yaqing rubbed her swollen forehead and felt a headache. Let's go to the ancient temple you mentioned. Didn't Li Mingho say that they played this software in the ancient temple? That's why this happened. Perhaps everything started there. Well, alright, I know that place. Tang Yaqing nodded solemnly. At night, Tang Yaqing was already asleep. Su Jie lay on the edge of Wang Zhong's bed and muttered, "You died because of the plane. This is indeed a bit ridiculous, but I don't know who developed this app. Maybe we can find the person who developed this app and find some useful information. Let's go to this ancient temple first. Perhaps we can find something there." Just as he finished speaking, a scream came from next door. Wang Zhong rushed in and saw Tang Yaqing crying and hiding in the corner. She hugged her head and cried, don't catch me, sob sob sob. Yaqing. Wang Zhong supported Tang Yaqing. What's wrong with you? Li Mingho, Wang Wan, they came to find me. They said that I would die because of rice. I'm going to die soon, sob sob sob. Don't worry, I'm here. Wang Zhong helped Tang Yaqing to the bed. Tang Yaqing was really frightened. She held Wang Zhong's hand tightly and fell asleep again. Su Jie sighed. Master, why don't you rest here for a while? Otherwise, your sister-in-law will wake up in the middle of the night again. Wang Zhong nodded slightly and could only lie on the side. Fortunately, he was not afraid of cold and heat, so he didn't need to cover himself with a quilt. Just like that, the night passed. Early in the morning, Tang Yaqing finally woke up from her sleep. Looking at Wang Zhong, who was resting with his eyes closed, Tang Yaqing blushed. God, did he lie here all night? It could be seen that Wang Zhong didn't touch her, but after all, they were a man and a woman alone. You're awake. Wang Zhong opened his eyes and said, Ahem, well, you didn't cover yourself with a quilt. Aren't you cold? There's only one quilt. How can I cover myself with it? Wang Zhong twisted his neck and got up. You had a nightmare last night. Are you okay now? Yes. Tang Yaqing got up in a daze. After tidying up, he drove to the ancient temple. It wasn't far. It was on a barren mountain outside the suburbs. It was already noon when they climbed up the mountain. Tang Yaqing ate something casually and followed Wang Zhong to the entrance of the ancient temple. On the door was written, Divine Fortune. It wasn't a temple at all. It was a place where people used to worship and worship. As soon as they entered, Wang Zhong frowned because a different prompt appeared in front of him. Discovered spirit body divine fortune teller. Age 309. Lifespan 67. Rage points 1030. More than 1000 rage points. Not something hell can deal with. Spirit body state. He wants to prove himself. Verdict. You can't imprison him. Suggestion. Try to reform him within the limits of the rules. This was the first time he had encountered a spirit body with such high rage points. Without a doubt, he was no match for this divine fortune teller. However, since Wang Wan and the others had been able to leave this place without a hitch, it meant that the otherworldly item here wasn't a temperamental person who wanted to kill people. According to the prompt, he had to reform him this time. Wang Zhong felt that it was a bit difficult, but since he was already here, he walked in with Tang Yaqing. In the middle of the hall, there was a dilapidated statue without eyes. It was a dilapidated statue. Ordinary people wouldn't see anything wrong with the statue, but in Wang Zhong's eyes, the statue was looking at him. Wang Zhong pretended that he didn't see anything and walked in with Tang Yaqing. Tang Yaqing started to talk about the situation here, but she didn't see anything wrong with it. Wang Zhong didn't answer. Instead, he said to Tang Yaqing, "Can you go out for a moment? I have something to say to the people here." Tang Yaqing raised her eyebrows. She knew that Wang Zhong was going to do something. She wasn't an irrational woman, so she walked out. After Tang Yaqing left, Wang Zhong clasped his fists at the statue in front of him. "Greetings, Senior, Divine Fortune Teller." The statue didn't say anything. Instead, it looked at Wang Zhong quietly, as if it wanted to know why Wang Zhong had come. "It hasn't been peaceful outside these days." Wang Zhong continued, my good friends, good friends, died one after another. They all died because they played a game here. I found out how you die in the game, so I came to take a look." "This is fate," the divine fortune teller said lightly. "They all died because of these reasons." "I saw it." "Senior, does this mean that everything you've divined is real?" asked Wang Zhong. "Of course it's true, including you. You died because of the plane, and that woman died because of rice. This is what I divined. From the looks of it, you admit that the software was created by you?" Wang Zhong asked. "Yes, but it was made for me by someone else." "Is that so? But do you know that many people died because of your software?" "I said that I'm only responsible for fortune-telling. If I divine that they all died because of this, then they died because of this. Do you still think that I played tricks in it? Although I'm in such a bad situation, I don't need to play tricks." The divine fortune teller didn't look like he was talking nonsense, which made Wang Zhong feel strange. Could it be that there was a secret behind this? "Senior, according to what you said, did they really die by accident?" "Of course." That didn't make sense. Wang Zhong furrowed his brows. The statue in front of him was indeed an otherworldly item. However, due to its age and the fact that it was worshipped by the people in this area after its death, it was very powerful. Therefore, Wang Zhong was no match for it. Fortunately, the divine fortune teller wasn't the kind of evil creature that killed people easily. So, Wang Zhong felt strange. What was hidden in it? "I understand." Wang Zhong nodded his head and left without saying anything else. Wang Zhong didn't find it strange that Master God Diviner didn't make things difficult for him. After all, the fact that Master God Diviner's descendants had built this place for him after his death meant that he had benefited the world and wasn't a bad person. Seeing Wang Zhong come out, Tang Yaqing came out of the woods and asked, "Li Jie, how is it?" "I have a rough understanding of the situation." "What's the next step?" "Destroy this place." Wang Zhong's idea was simple. No matter what, so many people died outside, it must have something to do with this place. Since the thing inside didn't want to admit it, he would destroy it. Previously, he had obtained a book about evil creatures, so he knew that this kind of evil creature wasn't a ghost, but a demigod. For a demigod like this who relied on worship to become strong, without a place to live, its power would weaken a lot. Then, it would be easy to deal with. As soon as he finished speaking, lightning flashed and thunder rumbled in the sky. Asterisk rumble, rumble. Asterisk in an instant, it began to rain heavily. The two of them were drenched, and then they reached the foot of the mountain. At this time, the ground was too slippery, and Tang Yaching was running too fast, so she accidentally slipped. Ouch! At this critical moment, Wang Zhong rushed over and grabbed Tang Yaching's hand. As they fell, Tang Yaching fell heavily on Wang Zhong. Holding the soft Tang Yaching in his arms, the two of them looked at each other in the rain. Suddenly, Tang Yaching felt her heart beating very fast. She felt that the person in front of her was not Li Jie at all. "Stranger, who are you?" Tang Yaching suddenly asked. Chapter 507. In fact, from the beginning, Tang Yaching felt that it was strange. After coming back from the hospital, Li Jie's personality changed greatly. The first time he entered the house, he called the neighbor next door Dad. Although he had a good explanation, saying that his head was hit and his brain was a little muddled, this reason was too far-fetched. After that, whether it was the way he spoke, his living habits, or his style of doing things, they were all very different from the previous Li Jie. At first, she also thought that Li Jie's personality changed greatly because his head was hit. But a few days ago, ever since Wang Zhong took her to the Yin City, she knew that there were evil things in this world. From that moment on, she suddenly had a bold idea in her mind. Could Li Jie have died long ago? She remembered that when she went to the hospital, her friend's doctor said that Li Jie's injuries were very serious, but he actually looked fine. His physique was really strange. After that, he was discharged from the hospital. Could it be Li Jie was already dead? This Li Jie was actually no longer him. Facing Tang Yaching's question, Wang Zhong felt that there was no need to hide anything. He nodded and said, "You can treat me as a good person." Good person? Sure enough, you're not Li Jie. That bastard Li Jie can't be like this. Tang Yaching got up from Wang Zhong and asked, "What's your purpose?" "Purpose? Let's talk in the car." "Okay." After getting in the car, Wang Zhong told her about himself. The reason why he told her these things was that after thinking about it again and again, Wang Zhong felt that there was no benefit in hiding it. First, it was to be secretive. It would inevitably make Tang Yaching suspicious. Second, it was to investigate Tang Yaching's matter. During this period, he found that it was not enough to rely on himself, so he needed Tang Yaching's help. Third, it was because it didn't matter if he told Tang Yaching these things. After listening to Wang Zhong's explanation, Tang Yaching frowned and said, "Sure enough, you're an evil thing. Strictly speaking, I'm a Yin master. I specialize in managing evil things." "That's about right. Anyway, I've told you the truth. Li Jie is dead. If I want to become a real person, I have to help your sister and let her recover. Do you understand? So we're on the same side." Wang Zhong said patiently. Of course, Tang Yaching knew the simple truth. In addition, she also hated people like Li Jie, so she didn't care if he died. "All right, we're on the same side. I hope you'll keep your word and help my sister." "And to help you." Wang Zhong smiled. After the discussion, the estrangement between the two was obviously gone. On the way, Wang Zhong told Tang Yaching a lot of things about evil creatures, so she understood a lot. The car drove steadily. At this moment, a huge plane flew past in the sky. The sound of the plane's engine made Tang Yaching's eardrums hurt. At this moment, a large truck sped past. The noise from the plane seemed to have affected the truck. Suddenly, the truck's steering wheel turned sharply and suddenly squeezed toward their car. Oh no! Tang Yaching was confused by the sudden situation and didn't know what to do for a while. Sizzle! The truck had already hit their car, and the collision between the two cars created a series of sparks. Seeing that a car accident was about to happen, Wang Zhong immediately held the steering wheel. His soul floated out and came to the front of the truck to stop it. Sizzle! The truck braked, and Tang Yaching's car also stepped on the brakes. The two cars finally stabilized. Wang Zhong returned to Li Jie's body and looked around. The surroundings were dark and gloomy. An evil creature wanted to kill them. Wang Zhong opened the door. At this time, the evil creature had already retreated. The truck driver quickly got out of the car and called the police. A rice truck. Tang Yaqing came to the back of the truck and saw bags of rice. Her eyes narrowed. Suddenly, she thought of the cause of her death: rice. She died because of rice. Lija died because of the plane. Just now, because of the sound of the plane and the yin qi, their two cars collided. Didn't it come true? Wang Zhong also saw the rice and thought of this. However, in his opinion, there was something behind all this. I already know. Let's wait for the traffic police to come and deal with these things, Wang Zhong said to Tang Yaqing. After that, the traffic police came and both sides went through the insurance procedure. It was already late at night when they returned home. The two were like drowned rats and looked quite embarrassed. After taking a shower, Wang Zhong began to talk about the cause of the car accident. Something has been following us since we came out of our temple. However, this thing is not an evil creature that ordinary people turn into after death. It's something else. Whenever an evil creature approached him, the judgment I would alert him. However, it didn't this time. This meant that the other party was not a soul, but something else. What could it be? Tang Yaqing frowned her beautiful eyebrows. Suddenly, she sneezed and caught a cold. I don't know the details, but it's okay. We encountered such a strange thing when we came out of the temple. This means that the root of everything is there. We'll just demolish that place tomorrow. Well, then contact the engineering team tomorrow. Tang Yaqing nodded, but still worried. Will it be okay? It's okay. This kind of small god will become very weak without a base. Wang Zhong had come to this conclusion based on the records of the soul body. This soul file was very good. It listed a lot of information about strange souls, including the abilities of these souls, their characteristics, and how to deal with them. Achoo, achoo. Tang Yaqing sneezed again. She felt very uncomfortable. Are you okay? Wang Zhong reached out and touched her forehead. He raised his eyebrows and said, You're hot. You have a fever. Now that he thought about it, they were first in the rain, and then Tang Yaqing came into contact with evil creatures. It was easy to get sick if one's body was weak. It's so uncomfortable. Tang Yaqing's whole body was weak. Go lie down. I'll make some ginger soup for you. Tang Yaqing nodded slightly and said, Thank you. Wang Zhong went to the kitchen to cook. Soon, Wang Zhong brought the ginger soup in. Looking at Wang Zhong's serious look, Tang Yaqing's heart was filled with warmth. Her heart couldn't help but beat faster. Do you know your real name? Tang Yaqing took a sip of the ginger soup and asked. Wang Zhong shook his head. I was a lonely soul. After I gained consciousness, I forgot everything, so I don't know. You can call me Li Zhe. If you cure my sister, you'll be a real person, right? Yes. What about in the future? Logically speaking, you and my sister are not husband and wife. Divorce, Wang Zhong said without hesitation. Tang Yaqing's heart moved. At this moment, she seemed to be looking forward to it. If Wang Zhong and her sister divorced, wouldn't she be able to? No, how can I think like that? Tang Yaqing, don't be silly. In fact, Tang Yaqing herself didn't know when she had a good impression of Wang Zhong. However, this feeling was like a little ant tickling her. Wang Zhong's expression was calm. However, he felt strange that Tang Yaqing seemed to be looking at him with a little bit of admiration. Well, I'm so capable. It's normal to be admired by girls, right? Sigh, sometimes being too charming is really annoying. Wang Zhong could only pretend not to notice. After watching Tang Yaqing drink the ginger soup, he said, Have a good rest. Okay. Wang Zhong was about to turn off the lights when Tang Yaqing suddenly grabbed Wang Zhong's hand. Then, she realized that it wasn't appropriate. She quickly withdrew her hand and said, Don't turn off the lights. Ever since so many of my friends died, I've been having nightmares and can't sleep. Wang Zhong comforted her. Do you want me to sleep on the floor with you? Just as he finished speaking, Su Jie muttered, Is that necessary? Wang Zhong directly ignored Su Jie. She was now a soul, so of course she wasn't afraid. However, Tang Yaqing was an ordinary woman after all. It was very serious for her to have a high fever after being frightened. Moreover, today's encounter made Wang Zhong realize that even if the evil thing came, he probably wouldn't be able to detect it. Now that the evil thing was obviously targeting them, it would be safer for him to stay by Tang Yaqing's side. Tang Yaqing nodded and said, Why don't you bring a quilt over and sleep on the side? After saying that, Tang Yaqing regretted it. God, how could she say that? However, she was really afraid. Whenever it was late at night, she could always feel that someone was staring at her. However, when she was with Wang Zhong, she felt an abnormal sense of security. Wang Zhong nodded and went back to the room to get a quilt. However, he still slept on the floor. In terms of character, Wang Zhong was definitely a gentleman. Seeing this scene, Tang Yaqing was very touched. Actually, you can sleep on the bed. We'll share 2 quilts. It's fine. Wang Zhong smiled. It's fine. I'm not afraid of the cold. Okay then. Tang Yaqing lay down again and looked at Wang Zhong on the floor. She suddenly realized that this boy was quite good. The night was silent. The next day, when Tang Yaqing woke up, she found that Wang Zhong had already gone out. Listening to the noise outside, it was obvious that he was cooking. After coming out, Wang Zhong said that he had already eaten. Tang Yaqing ate by herself. After a night of rest, her high fever had subsided a little. Later, we'll ask the construction team to demolish that place before it gets dark today. Tang Yaqing nodded subconsciously. She was unusually obedient to Wang Zhong's words now. Just as he finished speaking, the doorbell suddenly rang. Wang Zhong was puzzled. He didn't have any friends. Who would come here? He looked through the peephole and his heart suddenly thumped. Mother-in-law and father-in-law actually brought Tanya over. God, who told them the address of this place? For a moment, Wang Zhong's heart was in a mess. It wasn't that he was afraid, but because Tang Yaqing lived here. If his father-in-law saw his brother-in-law and sister-in-law in the same room, he wouldn't be able to clear his name even if he jumped into the Yellow River. What's wrong? Seeing Wang Zhong so nervous, Tang Yaqing was puzzled. Mom and Dad are here. What? Tang Yaqing was stunned. Lower your voice. What should we do now? Chapter 508. What should we do now? Tang Yaqing was so anxious that she almost jumped up. She was now living in the same room as Wang Zhong. Although the two of them were as pure as white lotuses, the problem was, who would believe them? Even she herself would not believe it. For a moment, the two of them were burning with anxiety. That's not right. How did they know I was living here? Wang Zhong asked softly. Tang Yaqing was almost in tears. I told them. Ah. Wang Zhong was speechless. Knock, knock, knock. The door was knocked again. What should we do? Tang Yaqing asked. That's the only way. Wang Zhong gritted his teeth. At the door, Tang Mingze and Li Lihua continued to knock with Tanya, but the door did not open. That's strange. Why isn't the door open? Did Li Jia go out? Tang Mingze said. That can't be. What time is it? Li Lihua said. Isn't it inappropriate for us to come here for a spot check? Tang Mingze lowered his voice. Ever since Wang Zhong had displayed his connections and wealth during their last meal at the restaurant, the couple had found Wang Zhong more and more pleasing to the eye. They felt that the current Li Jia was so good at earning money, yet he had moved out. Their intuition told them that Wang Zhong might want a divorce. Did he have a mistress outside? Therefore, they decided to come and take a look. They called it a look, but it was actually a spot check. What's wrong with that? If he dares to flirt outside, we will ask for a divorce. Then, he will have to compensate us with half of his assets, Li Lihua said domineeringly. That's true. Tang Mingzi nodded and agreed with his wife. At that moment, the door finally opened. Wang Zhong was in his pajamas and said sleepily, "Hey, Dad, Mom, you're here. Tanya, come in." Wang Zhong took the initiative to help the silly Tanya into the house. Hee, this is a new house," Tanya said foolishly. "Yes, it's a new house." Wang Zhong smiled and realized that his wife could be quite cute sometimes. The couple entered the house and scanned the room, but they did not find anything wrong. There was only one bowl and chopsticks on the table, proving that he was eating alone. There were no women's clothes or shoes at the door either. "Yes, it's safe," Li Lihua said in her heart. At this moment, her nose twitched. The air was quite fragrant. This smell was perfume, the smell of perfume. At this time, Wang Zhong took the perfume bottle and sprayed it a few times. He said, "Dad, Mom, why are you here so early? If you told me earlier, I would have gone to pick you up." Seeing that Wang Zhong was wearing perfume, Li Lihua thought to herself that it was perfume. She thought that Wang Zhong was keeping a mistress in his house. She replied, "I took Xiaoya out shopping today. You haven't visited her in a long time. When are you going to have children?" Talking about this topic again, Wang Zhong was a little embarrassed and said, "I've been busy with work recently." "You have to take care of your family even if you're busy," Tang Mingzi said. "You're right. How about this? 1 week. Wait until I'm done with what I'm doing." "All right." The couple sat for a while, looking around as if they were trying to see if there was anyone else in the house. Fortunately, they didn't find anything. "Li Jie, you have to take care of yourself even if you're busy with work. When I'm free, I'll make some soup and bring it to you." Li Lihua reminded him a few times and left with Tang Ya. After they left, Tang Yaqing came out of the bedroom cabinet. When her parents came just now, Tang Yaqing and Wang Zhong immediately hid all of Tang Yaqing's personal belongings in the cabinet. That was why they weren't discovered. "They're gone. Don't worry." Wang Zhong heaved a sigh of relief. He felt helpless in his heart. Why did he feel like he was having an affair? Tang Yaqing also felt the same. Both of them were very embarrassed. She said, "When things are settled, I'll move back." "Yes, you're right. You can go out. I'm going to change." "Okay." Soon, Tang Yaqing dressed up beautifully. The two of them went out and went to a renovation company. Under the recommendation of the renovation company, Wang Zhong didn't care about the cost and hired a few workers and excavators to go to the old temple. This old temple was obviously an old house that no one wanted, so the renovation company wasn't worried. Moreover, Wang Zhong offered a high price. Under the drive of profit, they accepted the job. "Boss, we'll start digging. If anything happens, you'll be responsible," the contractor reminded Wang Zhong before starting work. Wang Zhong nodded and said, "Everyone, let's do it." "No problem." "Okay." The excavator slowly approached the old temple. But at this time, the sky was suddenly covered with dark clouds and it started to rain. "Aya, it's raining. This damn weather." Several workers cursed. Because of the rain, they couldn't work and could only enter the car. Wang Zhong and Tang Yaqing were also in the car. Looking at the heavy rain in the sky, Wang Zhong frowned. The yin qi was getting heavier. This rain wasn't that simple. He got out of the car. At this time, he saw a colorful bird in the rain, standing on the roof of the temple looking at him. The bird's eyes had a trace of anger. It kept staring at him. Its body was full of demonic energy. After all, Wang Zhong used to be a fox demon, so it was easy for him to see its demonic energy. This was a demonic bird. The bird suddenly flopped and entered the temple. After thinking about it, Wang Zhong also went in. "You're annoying." As soon as he entered, the bird spoke human language and stood on the head of the statue. At this time, Wang Zhong noticed that there was a bird's nest at the back of the statue's head. The statue looked at Wang Zhong expressionlessly and said, "You're finally here. You knew I would come? Senior clairvoyant." I divined that my physical body would disappear today. The clairvoyant said lightly. With your strength, you can defeat me. Wang Zhong reminded. I know, but there will be killing. Clairvoyant, I'll kill him. The bird's tone was sad and angry. People don't know how strong you are. I'll deal with him. This way, you won't have to kill. Hey bird, I'm destined to disappear today. Don't meddle. No, if he destroys this place, you'll really die. Wang Zhong said, Bird, the person who killed, is it you? The demonic bird suddenly stopped talking, but it was actually admitting it. Hey, bird, this is your destiny. The clairvoyant sighed. From the day you set up your nest here, I told you to leave. If you stay here, there will be a calamity sooner or later. I know, I just want to make you happy. For so many years, I've watched this place gradually collapse. No one cares at all. I helped you with that software, hoping that through the deaths of others, people will know that you're here. Can you tell me more? Wang Zhong asked. Okay. Then, the demonic bird began to talk. It was just an ordinary bird in its early years. Its parents were killed by humans, and it had no nest, so it hid here. It was the clairvoyant who took it in. At that time, the incense here was good, so it hid on the roof. As time passed, the nearby villagers went to the city. There were fewer and fewer people living here, and more people didn't believe in this place. The bird saw this and was anxious. Seeing that this place was getting more and more dilapidated, and the clairvoyant's magic power was also disappearing with the destruction of the statue, it came up with this idea. That day, Li Mingho and the others came in. It saw Li Mingho and the others playing the game, How Will You Die? Although it didn't know how this software was played, it thought that if they saw that what it said was true, would they believe that there were really fortune-tellers in this world? The more people who died, the more likely the survivors would notice this place. If more people knew about this place, perhaps there would be more incense here. At that time, this place would be repaired, and the statue would also be repaired. Then it would stay here with the clairvoyant. Its idea was very naive, but through this, one could see the innocence of this little demon. It just wanted to make the clairvoyant happy. It didn't want it and the clairvoyant's home to be gone. I've been with the clairvoyant for so long, and I've also learned some fortune-telling techniques. I saw the cause of those people's deaths, the bird said. Then, did they die because of you? Wang Zhong asked. Yes, I saw the cause of their deaths, but I was eager for quick success, so I ended their lives in advance. At this point, everything was clear. In order to let people know that the fortune-telling technique was real, the bird killed those people in advance. The way it killed them was the way these people died. The first one was hit by a rock, so he was killed by a rock. The second one was hit by a baseball, so he was killed by a baseball. Wang Zhong asked, So, what we met yesterday was also done by you? Yes, but I didn't expect you to not be an ordinary person. It seems that the great calamity in my life is you. Although Wang Zhong couldn't deal with the clairvoyant, it was no problem for him to deal with this little demon. Wang Zhong looked at the clairvoyant and asked, You really don't mind fighting? This is the tribulation between me and the bird. I'm a fortune-teller, and I don't dare to change anything. Is that so? Yes, because even if I can see the future of everyone, I can't change anything. The clairvoyant appeared in front of Wang Zhong. He was a middle-aged man in plain clothes with a black beard. As he spoke, the statue behind him began to collapse, and the bricks of the house began to fall. Actually, you didn't need to come here. This place is about to collapse, the clairvoyant said indifferently. Grand Master, the demon bird cried. Sigh, our destiny has come to an end. I saved your life when you were young, and that was because you weren't destined to die. But this time, it's your tribulation. I know. Thank you, Grand Master. Rumble. The entire statue shattered, and the clairvoyant's body began to emit golden light. Wang Zhong raised his eyebrows. This was stepping into the Tao. According to the records of souls, Some souls who stayed behind would step into the Tao when their cultivation base reached a certain level. They didn't need to enter the cycle of reincarnation. They could be directly reincarnated. In their next life, such souls might be born ordinary, but their achievements would be extraordinary. However, they would lose their memories of their previous lives. The clairvoyant has stepped into the Tao. Chapter 509. Master Clairvoyant. Seeing Master Clairvoyant leave, Chick kept flapping his wings and crying loudly. I'm leaving first. Remember, man proposes, God disposes. Even if he does, let nature take its course. Master Clairvoyant's voice slowly disappeared. At the same time, in a hospital, a child was born in the delivery room. What will you do to me now? Chick looked at Wang Zhong and sighed. I've killed so many people. You'll definitely do something to me. I'm only responsible for collecting souls. You're a demon and not under my control. However, if you dare to harm people in the future, I'll definitely kill you. Thank you. Actually, Master Clairvoyant is gone. I don't need to harm people anymore. Where are you going? Master Clairvoyant has entered the Tao. He might have been born somewhere. I want to find him and watch him grow up. Well, I hope you can find him. Thank you. Chick turned into a stream of light and flew out. Kacha, kacha. The house was about to collapse. Lige, lige. At this moment, Tang Yaching ran in anxiously. It's about to collapse. Let's go. It turned out that Tang Yaching, who was outside, had rushed in anxiously when she saw that the house was about to collapse. She did not consider her own safety at all. What are you doing here? Wang Zhong pulled Tang Yaching and ran out. Asterisk rumble. Asterisk as they ran out, the temple collapsed with a loud bang. The sky outside had already cleared up. The workers gathered around Wang Zhong with looks of astonishment on their faces. You guys are too bold. How dare you enter such a dangerous house? Isn't that so? This kind of dangerous house is the easiest to collapse in heavy rain. And this girl, you seem to be true love. Seeing that it was about to collapse, you rushed in to save people. Tisk tisk if only my girlfriend was as good. A young man sighed. Tang Yaching blushed and whispered to Wang Zhong, they're talking nonsense. I just wanted to call you. Wang Zhong smiled. Although he didn't say anything, he felt warm in his heart. Tang Yaching rushed in without caring about her own safety. It seemed reckless, but in fact, she cared about him. Unfortunately, she was his sister-in-law. That's not right. I'm not Li Zhe. How can she be considered a sister-in-law? But I'm using Li Zhe's body. Wang Zhong was very conflicted. After the meeting, Wang Zhong still paid the workers for their work. After returning home, Tang Yaching was very happy. She could finally have a comfortable sleep. Although this matter has been resolved, we still can't let our guard down. Stay here for a few more days. If nothing happens to you and your friends, we'll talk about this matter. Hearing that she was leaving, Tang Yaching was slightly disappointed, but she didn't say anything. Instead, she said, let's celebrate tonight. Let's go out for dinner. I'm an otherworldly item, so I can't eat. Alright, I forgot about that. Then we can go. Tang Yaching thought about it and suddenly said happily, let's go to the amusement park. Ah! Wang Zhong was stunned. Let's celebrate. Moreover, there's a haunted house adventure in the amusement park. We can explore the haunted house. I want to train my courage. Looking at Tang Yaching's serious face, Wang Zhong smiled and nodded. Okay. That afternoon, Tang Yaching had a lot of fun. She had completely forgotten about the deaths of her friends and the evil creature's harassment. When she saw the sun set, Tang Yaching sighed. Why did time pass so fast? It would be great if she could stay here forever. Next, we need to solve the problem with your sister. After returning home, Wang Zhong told her that he had installed a mini surveillance camera in the Tang family's house. I don't understand. If someone wanted to harm my sister, Why did they make her crazy instead of killing her directly? And, why are my family and I all fine? Tang Yaching asked. It's really strange. That's why it's hard to investigate. Alright, when you go home, give me a list of people who have conflicts with your family, especially those who don't get along with your sister. I'll investigate them one by one. That's not a problem. Tang Yaching nodded. In the next few days, Tang Yaching went to work during the day while Wang Zhong went out to investigate. Sometimes, when he encountered souls, he imprisoned them and chatted with them. Things progressed very smoothly. This morning, Tang Yaching finally packed her things and prepared to leave. Thank you. If it wasn't for you, I might have died long ago. Tang Yaching opened the door and seemed to be slightly reluctant to leave. These days of interaction allowed Tang Yaching to know that this Li Jie, before her, was a very good man. If it was possible, she really wanted to continue staying with Wang Zhong. Unfortunately, she knew that it wouldn't be good if it was like this. Wang Zhong was just about to speak when the elevator door suddenly opened. His parents-in-law led Tang Yaching out of the elevator, and they were even holding some food in their hands. Yaching, why are you here? Li Lihua covered her mouth and exclaimed. At this moment, she seemed to have discovered a new continent, and she was dumbstruck. Tang Mingze's eyes almost popped out. Yaching, you. Didn't you say you went on a business trip? Why are you here? The husband and wife practically spoke at the same time. Tang Yaching tilted her head and walked over. Sister, why are you with my husband? Did you two sleep together? No. Tang Yaching's face darkened and was just about to explain when Li Lihua stomped her feet and said anxiously, Hurry up and enter the house. Are you trying to embarrass me to death? When the family entered the house, Wang Zhong was rather speechless, and he didn't know how to explain. But no matter what, he'd told Tang Yaching before that he absolutely couldn't tell her that he wasn't Li Jie, so as to avoid alerting the enemy. As for the strange thing that happened to Tang Yaching, it was even more unspeakable. In Tang Yaching's words, his parents were old, and if he suffered such a great shock again, what would he do if he left? Tang Mingze looked at Tang Yaching and Wang Zhong, who sat on the sofa, and questioned exasperatedly. Speak, why? Why are you two living together? The husband and wife both had embarrassed expressions. They never imagined that their sister-in-law and brother-in-law would get together. Family misfortune. One had to know that in the past, Tang Yaching and Wang Zhong didn't get along, but now the two of them were living together. It wasn't quite possible that Wang Zhong seduced Tang Yaching. They were very clear about Tang Yaching's character, and she wouldn't casually live together with others. Then there was only one explanation. Tang Yaching fell for him. Sigh. Ill-fated relationship. Why did my sister fall for brother-in-law? Even the television wouldn't dare to film this. Dad, Mom, actually, there's nothing between us. Tang Yaching said helplessly. Heh. Tang Mingze laughed coldly. Do you think we're idiots? Li Lihua shouted. Dad, Mom, actually, it's mainly because I've been busy with work recently, so Tang Yaching came over to help me. Wang Zhong explained. You're busy with work? Wang Zhong nodded and said, Yes, I was prepared to see you after I was busy. Right, Mom, I haven't given you anything for so long. We'll go to the gold shop later, and you can tell me what you like. Wang Zhong understood that his father-in-law and mother-in-law's values were still quite good, and the only thing they cared about was their face and were greedy. So long as he satisfied these few points, they probably wouldn't say anything. After all, one was their biological daughter, and the other was so good to them. Even if they slept together, it couldn't be helped. Who asked Tang Yaching to be a fool now? Li Lihua sighed lightly. There's no need for that. But Tang Yaching, are you really working? Yes, we're working. Li Lihua and Tang Mingze looked at each other and saw the helplessness in each other's eyes. Because there were truly too many loopholes in their excuses. For example, why did Tang Yaching say she was on a business trip when she clearly came over for work? Why were the two of them so nervous? Why did they look like husband and wife when they sat together? Although the couple's hearts were like a mirror and knew that Wang Zhong and their daughter were looking for excuses, it wasn't good to expose them at this time. They were family after all, and they had to live together in the future. Hasn't work been better recently, so I'm preparing to move out. Tang Yaching pointed at her luggage at the door and said. Is that so? Li Lihua smiled embarrassedly, and then she instructed Wang Zhong. Since you're not busy with work, have a child tonight. Ah. Wang Zhong was stunned and hurriedly said, Mom, it's not that I'm not willing, it's mainly that Tanya isn't willing to. Don't worry, I've done some work for Tanya these past few days. Although Tanya doesn't know anything, don't worry, when the time comes, we'll take care of the child for you. Wang Zhong didn't know what to say. He thought that since it was like this, then he should agree first. In any case, he wouldn't suffer a loss. Thus, Wang Zhong agreed, and then he took his parents-in-law shopping and bought them a lot of things. His parents-in-law were so happy that they couldn't close their mouths. When the two of them were shopping, they talked about Wang Zhong and Tang Yaching in private. What should they do? After thinking for a long time, they felt that it wasn't good for them to interfere in this matter, so as to avoid making a fool of themselves. One was the eldest daughter's husband, and the other was the youngest daughter. If they were forced to a corner and divorced the eldest daughter, then what if the two of them really got married? At that time, they would really be in a dilemma. Tang Mingzi thought for a moment and said helplessly, if it's really not possible, then let them be. Ah, that's not so good, right? Hey, think about it. Now that Li Jia is doing so well, would he take a fancy to Tanya? Li Lihua thought of her eldest daughter's silly look and shook her head helplessly. Isn't that right? Without Tanya looking after him, Li Jia will definitely take a fancy to other women outside. But if he's with Tanya, then it's fine. At least Tanya can look after him. Moreover, when our eldest daughter has children in the future, Tanya will definitely treat them as her own. What do you think? Li Lihua was enlightened by Tang Mingzi's analysis and felt that it was fine. Although this kind of relationship was quite messy, at least her eldest daughter wouldn't be dumped. At night, Wang Zhong and Tanya entered the house. Tanya's IQ was now like a child's. She tilted her head and said, Mom said that we're going to have children. Chapter 5:10. To be honest, Wang Zhong really didn't have any feelings for Tanya, but he didn't mind if something really happened. Thinking of appeasing Li Jia's resentment in his heart as soon as possible, Wang Zhong felt that it was better to be with Tanya as soon as possible. Moreover, if he was with her, he might be able to lure out the person who hurt Tanya. Wang Zhong lay on the bed. Tanya looked at Wang Zhong blankly and asked, Are you going to do it or should I do it? She knows quite a lot. Wang Zhong thought in his heart and said, Let me do it. The night passed quickly. In the morning, Tanya snuggled up to Wang Zhong and said like a child, Hubby, we'll have a child soon, right? Yes, we'll have a child soon. Wang Zhong hugged Tanya tightly. He could feel that Li Jia's resentment was quickly subsiding in his heart. Time passed very quickly. A year had passed, but it was a pity that Tanya's stomach didn't show any signs of movement. After going to the hospital for a checkup, the doctor said that there was nothing wrong with their bodies, so the family was very puzzled. Forget it, let nature take its course, Wang Zhong said to his parents-in-law. After officially being together with Tanya, Tanya obviously deliberately distanced herself from him. Wang Zhong also understood Tanya's thoughts. He was her brother-in-law, so they couldn't be too close. In the following days, Wang Zhong basically fulfilled his duties as a yin agent every day, and at the same time, earned some money from the rich. 2 years later, his current net worth had already exceeded 30 million yuan, and he bought a villa in the city center, and the family officially moved there. Because of the money, Wang Zhong's parents-in-law were particularly pleasing to the eye now. The only regret was that they didn't have a child. This made them very worried. If this continued, would Wang Zhong break up with Tanya? At this time, they suddenly realized that some things really couldn't have the best of both worlds. In the past, they despised Wang Zhong for being poor and incompetent, and they always wanted to chase Wang Zhong away. Now that Wang Zhong could make money, his connections were frighteningly wide. Who knew how many high-ranking officials and nobles were polite to him? If this trend continued, his eldest daughter, who had no children and was not smart, might really be dumped. Deep in the night, Li Lihua suggested, "Let Ye Qing and Li Jia be together." Ah! Tang Mingze was stunned. "What are you talking about?" Ye Qing and Li Jia were originally interested in each other. "Our eldest daughter is in such a state now, and she's unable to give birth to a child, so she'll have to get a divorce sooner or later. Since it's like this and Li Jia is so capable, then why don't our Ye Qing benefit from it?" This. Tang Mingze was still hesitant. "Don't say this and that. Think about it. If we get divorced, can we live in a big villa? Could she wear such fine clothes and wear gold and silver? Take Ye Qing for example. Li Jia has invested so much in her, and the scale of her store has expanded so much. Without Li Jia, our family would surely not be doing so well." "You're right. Let them be together." That night, Li Lihua went to Tang Yaqing's room and chatted with her. "What? Mom, what are you talking about? He's my brother-in-law. If you do this, you're setting me up. Besides, I certainly won't agree to it." Tang Yaqing heard her mother's words and immediately retorted. After that, Li Lihua began to work. She said that her sister couldn't give birth anyway, and if she continued like this, Li Jia would definitely divorce her. However, after a long time, Tang Yaqing still refused. Li Lihua was angry and said, "You've been together before. Can't I fulfill your wish now?" While she was persuading her, Wang Zhong continued to do business outside. Now, he and Su Jie were working together with ease. Most of the nearby souls were no longer a threat. However, what made Wang Zhong depressed was that until now, he still hadn't learned anything about what had happened to Tanya. Fortunately, because he had known many otherworldly items over the years, he had asked them to search for Tanya's 3 souls. Once they found them, they would tell him immediately. Finally, a day's work was over. Today, he was in a hotel to solve the problem of a woman crying in the middle of the night. The reason was simple. A couple had moved in, and the man had dismembered the woman. The body was put into a suitcase and transported out several times. Wang Zhong directly called the police and anonymously gave the search department some evidence and the identity of the murderer. After that, the woman's anger was appeased. Just as he was about to go home, Tang Yaqing called. Wang Zhong was a little puzzled. Ever since he and Tanya were about to have a child, his sister-in-law had been intentionally or unintentionally avoiding him. Why did she take the initiative to call him this time? Tang Yaqing arranged to meet him at a fast food restaurant. The two of them sat face to face with hamburgers, cola, and fries on the table. They looked like a young couple on a date, but neither of them was in the mood to eat. Tang Yaqing was thinking about what her mother had told her today, while Wang Zhong was wondering why his sister-in-law had asked him out. "You and my sister haven't had a child yet?" After some nonsense, Tang Yaqing finally got to the point. Wang Zhong nodded. "There's nothing wrong with us. We've used more than 20 positions, but I don't know why." Speaking of positions, Tang Yaqing blushed. After all, she was still a virgin. Hearing Wang Zhong's words, her cheeks were frighteningly red. "Then tell me, why is that?" "Sigh, I think it has something to do with your sister's missing 3 spiritual souls." Wang Zhong guessed. When a person lost 3 spiritual souls, their body would be in chaos, resulting in a situation where they couldn't have children. That was why it was so difficult. "You called me today because of this?" Tang Yaqing nodded awkwardly. "Mom and Dad are very worried about you. They even want to." "What's wrong?" Wang Zhong felt that something was wrong with Tang Yaqing today. She used to be quite straightforward, but today she was stuttering. "Sigh, how should I put it?" Tang Yaqing didn't dare to look Wang Zhong in the eyes. After thinking for a long time, she told him what Li Lihua had told her today. "What? Mother-in-law wants you to marry me?" Tang Yaqing blushed and nodded. "I didn't tell you because I agreed." I just wanted to tell you that if you were with my sister, I would never do that. So, even if my parents told you and you agreed, I wouldn't agree. So, it was like that. Wang Zhong looked at Tang Yaqing's serious face and explained, "Don't worry. I won't do that." Tang Yaqing heaved a sigh of relief. She looked at Wang Zhong and said, "That's good. From now on, you're still my brother-in-law." "Yeah. Then, I'm leaving." After Tang Yaqing left, Wang Zhong felt a sense of loss. He could feel that Tang Yaqing actually had a trace of affection for him. However, it was a pity that their relationship was destined to not last. After leaving the place, Wang Zhong checked the time. It was still early, so he went to Yin City. It had been a few days. He needed to know the recent situation from the otherworldly items. Wang Zhong entered the alley. Many otherworldly items greeted him. "You're here. You look more energetic today. I haven't seen you for a few days. You've become more handsome. Did you bring the gum?" A few old acquaintances came over. Wang Zhong smiled and threw the gum in his hand. "Have you found my wife's soul recently?" "No, but there are a few newcomers in the East District. You can go there and ask them." Following the direction the soul was pointing at the end of the alley, there were a few female souls huddled there. Wang Zhong walked over. The female souls had just arrived, so they were afraid of strangers. Su Jie came and greeted them. "Hello. Why are you looking for us? I know you're Gehenna and you're very powerful. However, Gehenna can only deal with evildoers." "We haven't done anything bad," said an older soul. "Yes, we're good." Wang Zhong was amused. "You're new here. How do you know I'm Gehenna?" "Judgment Eye. When you took the gum, I saw the Judgment Eye." "You know about the Judgment Eye?" Wang Zhong asked. The female souls nodded in agreement. Wang Zhong's interest was piqued, and he asked, "Have you met the previous Hell's Master?" "Yes, but something might have happened to her. We want to save her, but we're too weak." The older Soul Master revealed a helpless expression and said with a sad face, "She should be dead by now." "Yes, she's so pitiful. Can you tell me more about it?" "Yes." At that time, an evil cultivator appeared in our area and caught us for cultivation. Later, Master Gehenna found him. He was very weak and wasn't Master Gehenna's opponent at all. However, he escaped. Later, we don't know what happened, but we secretly saw Master Gehenna's soul being taken away by that evil cultivator. We were so scared that we walked for a long time to reach this place. Then, another worldly item glanced at the photo of Tangya in Wang Zhong's hand. He was shocked and shouted, "Master Gehenna, you know my wife?" Wang Zhong put Tangya's photo in front of the evil beings and asked, "This is Master Gehenna. So, Master Gehenna is your wife?" Wang Zhong was stunned. He looked at Su Jie and said in disbelief, "My wife is actually Master Gehenna." Su Jie was also surprised and couldn't close her mouth. "It seems that we know how your wife became like this." The next step was simple. Wang Zhong used the Judgment Eye to subdue one of the souls. Then, he followed her to the place where he met the evil cultivator. According to the descriptions of the souls, Wang Zhong roughly described the evil cultivator's appearance. He was around 30 years old and had a delicate appearance. He had a little temperament and was a little rich. He wore a casual suit and had thick eyebrows and big eyes. He was obviously a man, but he had light makeup on his face. After hearing the descriptions, Wang Zhong finished drawing the man's appearance. From the drawing, he could see that the man was quite handsome. What surprised him more was that the man looked familiar, as if he had seen him somewhere before. However, Wang Zhong couldn't remember where. From that day onward, Wang Zhong started to act in the East District. However, to his surprise, Tangya disappeared one night. When Wang Zhong returned home, Tangya was crying. It turned out that her parents-in-law had gone out that day, and the housekeeper had asked for leave. Only she and her sister were at home. After giving Tangya a bath, she went to take a shower. When she came out, Tangya was gone. The door was open, but she's gone. Boo-hoo. What should I do? Chapter 5:11. Looking at the weeping Tang Yaching, Wang Zhong was not in a hurry. He said, I expected this to happen. Don't worry, I have a way. Under Tang Yaching's shocked gaze, Wang Zhong turned on the GPS on his phone. Soon, a red dot appeared on the screen. At that time, I suspected that someone would do something after your sister was harmed. So, I bought a necklace and installed a GPS on it. Stay here, I'll go find your sister. Wang Zhong drove the car out. Tanya had only been missing for about 10 minutes. She couldn't have gone far in such a short time. But soon, Tanya's speed increased. Obviously, she was also in the car. Wang Zhong followed closely behind. Finally, he stopped in a high-end residential building in the East District. Tanya got out of a commercial car, but she was alone. She was expressionless, as if she was controlled by someone to enter the building and press the elevator button. Wang Zhong thought about it and decided not to alert her. He followed behind her and made a hand seal, wanting to leave his body and follow her. But when he reached the entrance of the building, his soul was blocked. There seemed to be some kind of restriction set up in the building. His soul couldn't enter. Wang Zhong had no experience in dealing with such restrictions. He could only enter with Li Zhe's body. He looked at the elevator floor that Tanya entered. It was the 3rd floor. It was not high. Wang Zhong walked up the stairs. He had a feeling that he could find the mastermind this time. As long as he dealt with this heretic, Tanya would recover and he would be able to return to his human form. Then, his mission in this life would be completed. Taking a deep breath, Wang Zhong stood in front of a house. According to the GPS, Tanya had entered this house. The house was silent. Wang Zhong kicked the door open. The lights were not turned on. There were candles on the ground, forming a circular formation. Tanya! Wang Zhong shouted anxiously. Tanya closed her eyes and didn't speak. There was no one else in the dim light. Hello, Li Zhe. I want to play a game with you. Suddenly, a hoarse voice came from the house. I understand now. You purposely lured me here. This game is called, Let's See Who's More Powerful. The hoarse voice disappeared, and Tanya suddenly opened her eyes. Her eyes were bloodshot. Almighty heavenly dragon! Tanya bellowed and slapped at Wang Zhong. He didn't know what was wrong with this Tanya. After opening her eyes, she kept attacking. Fortunately, Tanya's strength was not very strong. Wang Zhong blocked the attack and slashed at her, directly knocking Tanya unconscious. Very impressive, very impressive. It's a pity that there are still games. The hoarse voice sounded again. At the same time, all the lights in the house were turned on. Wang Zhong then noticed that there were black jars placed around the house. Bang! 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 As the jars shattered one by one, black fog gushed out from within and rushed towards Wang Zhong. This is a formation I've created by capturing countless otherworldly items. Ha ha ha, you will be devoured by thousands of ghosts. Wang Zhong furrowed his brows. The situation in front of him was indeed very troublesome. There were too many otherworldly items. He couldn't resist them all. The judgment I might be able to devour some of them, but as the number increased, it would be very troublesome. Fortunately, his identity as a Nether Master was not his only trump card. Looking at the countless otherworldly items rushing towards him, Wang Zhong suddenly took out a talisman. 10,000 arts returned to origin. The talisman was thrown out, and it turned into a golden light. All the ghosts in the house were subdued. The speed was so fast that it made people click their tongues. This was Wang Zhong's trump card. After all, he was a man who had lived for so many years. After gaining a foothold in this place, he began to practice the cultivation techniques from his previous lives. He had especially mastered the techniques to deal with ghosts. For example, he had consecrated the talisman a lot. The reason why he hadn't used it was that he was worried that his trump card would be exposed. If the real culprit behind the scenes didn't come to him, it would be troublesome. This time, he finally used it. The evil beings in the house finally disappeared. Wang Zhong began to inspect the house. There was no furniture in the house. Obviously, it wasn't for people to live in. All kinds of runes were drawn on the walls. Wang Zhong caught an evil being in the house and beat him half to death. Then, he asked the culprit behind the scenes what his purpose was. Master needs the virgin blood of Nether Master to sacrifice to Satan. After the sacrifice, Satan will fulfill one of Master's wishes. The evil being's words were intermittent. It was obvious that after being refined, these otherworldly items' minds were affected. At this time, a plaque in the house attracted his attention. Under the plaque was an urn with a seal on it. Obviously, something was sealed inside. Master Nether Master is inside. After the evil being said that, he couldn't bear the feeling of being controlled and directly exploded. Wang Zhong came in front of the urn. Su Jie floated out and guessed, Master Nether Master is inside. Is it your wife? I'm afraid so. Wang Zhong tore off the seal without hesitation. The next moment, a black fog drifted out. Song Hua, I want you to die. A cold and angry female voice came. Wang Zhong was stunned. The black shadow in front of him looked exactly like Tang Ye. In other words, this was Tang Ye, his wife. It turned out that her 3 souls had been sealed here all this time. Li Zhe. Seeing Wang Zhong, Tang Ye recognized her old classmate. Why are you here? In her impression, this classmate had always been unknown. He was the kind of person who couldn't support a wall with mud. Wang Zhong was a little embarrassed. Obviously, Tang Ye didn't know what happened after her 3 souls were sealed. How long have I been missing? You actually became a master of Nether Master. Li Zhe, it seems that you also had a big fortuitous encounter. Tang Ye muttered and quickly returned to her body. Think about it and you will know what happened recently, Wang Zhong said. Tang Ye nodded. Suddenly, her delicate body trembled. The scenes after she had gone mad flashed through her mind like a fleeting view of flowers. Her parents took her to see a doctor again and again. After that, she married Wang Zhong. At first, she was beaten by Li Zhe. Then, Li Zhe's personality changed drastically. He slept with her and had children with her. Hiss? Tang Ye gasped and said subconsciously, hubby. Sigh. Wang Zhong said awkwardly, actually, you can see that I'm not Li Zhe. Bastard, I actually married you. If it weren't for me, you might still be sealed. Without me, your parents and sister might have been killed. Tang Ye was very angry, but she knew in her heart that Wang Zhong was right. Without Wang Zhong's help, she wouldn't have been able to escape. Oh no. Tang Ye suddenly reacted. Now is not the time to talk about this. We have to save my sister. What's wrong? It's all Song Hua's doing. Song Hua, that has been star. Being reminded by Tang Ye, Wang Zhong reacted. When he heard the pictures of the otherworldly items, he felt that this person was familiar. However, he couldn't recall who he was. Now, being reminded by Tang Ye, Wang Zhong suddenly remembered this person. This Song Hua used to be a small star. He mainly practiced martial arts, but his popularity wasn't very high. Several years ago, Song Hua beat someone up after drinking, which made his popularity plummet. After that, there was no news about him. I don't know where Song Hua got the information about summoning Satan. It's rumored that as long as you sacrifice the blood of the Nether God to Satan, Satan will be summoned. Satan will fulfill any of your wishes. Then, Tang Ye looked at the formation in the room and said, originally, Song Hua wanted to perform the summoning ritual, but he failed. Wang Zhong was skeptical. Why did he fail? Tang Ye's eyes focused. She said embarrassedly, because there was a condition. I had to be a virgin. Oh, I'm lucky. Wang Zhong sighed with emotion. Tang Ye glared at Wang Zhong and sighed. However, this time, my sister is in trouble. What do you mean? My sister and I are twins. My blood flows in her body. In other words, as long as you sacrifice my sister, it will be fine. Then, Tanya looked at Wang Zhong and said, My memory tells me that you and my sister had a relationship, didn't you? Wang Zhong quickly shook his head. We are as pure as white lotuses. Tanya frowned. If you really had a relationship, it's fine. As long as my sister isn't a virgin, she can't be sacrificed. Wang Zhong was speechless. Why would I lie to you? We really didn't have any relationship. Then we are in trouble. Tanya clenched her teeth. No matter what, we have to find my sister first. Wang Zhong immediately called Tanya Qing. Tanya Qing picked up the phone and asked, Li Jie, how is my sister? She is fine. Now listen to me. Stay at home and don't go anywhere. I'm afraid someone is looking for you. You mean someone wants to deal with you? That's right. Be careful. After Wang Zhong finished speaking, there was no sound from the other end of the phone. Hello. Something happened to Ye Qing. Tanya frowned and quickly jumped down from the 3rd floor. F***CK. Su Jie was stunned. Your wife is too awesome. Wang Zhong went downstairs. Tanya had been waiting for a long time. Why are you so slow? This body is Li Jie's after all. I am not that familiar with using it. Wang Zhong said helplessly. You drive and track my sister's location. Tanya bit her index finger and drew a talisman on her palm. After writing Tanya Qing's name, the talisman flew into the air. Hurry up and find my sister. Tanya shouted. The talisman seemed to understand and flew out of the car. There is such a thing. Wang Zhong had a new understanding of Tanya. It was probably not an accident that this woman could become a Yin master. She was really capable. The car sped out and finally stopped at a farmer's house in the suburbs. From afar, the house was brightly lit, and Tanya Qing's car was already parked downstairs. Oh no, I'm afraid I'm late. The ceremony has already begun. Seeing this scene, Tanya's expression changed greatly. Chapter 5:12. The two of them rushed in, but what greeted them was Song Hua's arrogant laughter. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. So what if you're Gehenna? You two Gehenna are too late. As soon as they rushed into the house, they heard Song Hua's arrogant laughter. At this moment, Tang Yaqing lowered her head and knelt in the center of the hall. Countless candles were lit in the center, forming a strange pattern. And Song Hua was standing beside the pattern. Ha ha ha, you guys are finally too late. Tanya, I didn't expect that your husband is also an emissary. I had no choice but to speed up the process. But it doesn't matter. Although I've sped up, my plan is about to succeed. It turned out that in order to carry out this ritual, a lot of souls must be collected. Song Hua had been collecting souls before, so Tanya, as a Gehenna, noticed him. Song Hua suffered a big loss in the first battle, so he planned to lure Tanya. Tanya fell into the trap and escaped with all her strength, but 3 of her souls were taken away. Because the souls were not collected, Song Hua was not in a hurry to deal with Tanya. Unexpectedly, Tanya and Li Jie got married. At that time, he thought that Tanya was no longer a virgin, so he began to look for other targets. But he couldn't find any. A few years later, he looked back and found that Tanya was still childless, but she had a younger sister. According to the sacrificial ritual, sisters of the same blood can also be used as sacrificial offerings, so Song Hua targeted Tang Yaqing. He asked Tanya to lure Wang Zhong away. When Wang Zhong entered the house, he began to deal with Tang Yaqing. In this way, Tang Yaqing was lured here by magic. At this time, Tang Yaqing didn't have any thoughts. She seemed to be asleep, looking down at her feet silently. Song Hua, you're a public figure. What's your purpose? Tanya roared. Song Hua seemed to think that he had won, so he was not in a hurry. He laughed and said, Do you know? I'm a star. I have a bright future. I'm going to be a big star. But because of a report of me hitting someone, my reputation is ruined. Do you think it's fair? Hee hee. Wang Zhong didn't want to talk, so he chuckled at Song Hua. Song Hua seemed to feel the mockery and coldly snorted, "How would you know my dream?" After that, someone gave me this book. I wanted to summon Satan. I wanted to make a wish. What do you want? Tanya asked coldly. Humph, I want to be a big star. I want to be a super big star. So this is your wish. Wang Zhong was speechless. In order to become a big star, she actually did so many bad things. Satan, my master, come out. Song Hua laughed. Suddenly, the flame of the candles in the room began to blow. The fire kept swaying, but it didn't go out. A pit suddenly appeared below where Tang Yaching was kneeling, and it seemed like something was trying to crawl out. Yaching, wake up. Tanya stretched out her hand and opened the eye of judgment on her palm. A surge of energy blasted out. Bang! Unfortunately, this force only caused an explosion at the periphery of the formation and did not affect anything at all. Tang Yaching, who was inside, was startled awake and looked around in bewilderment. What's wrong with me? Tang Yaching shook her head in a daze. She remembered that her sister had left home previously, and she was waiting at home for Wang Zhong to find her sister. She fell asleep in a daze and then had a dream. In the dream, she was driving to a residential building. Suddenly, she realized that this was not a dream at all. All of this was real. Sister, sister. Tang Yaching shouted desperately, but this formation was like a cage, and the people inside couldn't get out at all. Ha ha ha, Satan will come out soon, and we can make a wish, ha ha. Song Hua shouted at the hole in the formation. Master, my master, the sacrifice has been sent to you. Please enjoy it. Seeing that the situation was unfavorable, Tanya looked at Wang Zhong and shouted, There's only one way. Could it be that you want to? Tanya nodded. That's the only way. Please. What a difficult task. Wang Zhong let out a cold snort and charged into the array. Lisha, what's going on? Tang Yaching cried and shouted. Wang Zhong roughly explained the situation, and Tang Yaching was stunned. He wants to use me as a sacrifice, but if you come in now, won't you be sacrificed too? Song Hua said excitedly outside, You don't know what's good for you. Master will only be happy with one more sacrifice. Do you think you can escape? Let me tell you, this place is sealed. Living people can only enter, but not leave. Is that so? Wang Zhong sneered. He ignored Song Hua and said to Tanya seriously, The situation now is indeed very dangerous, but it's not impossible. What's the way? This sacrifice needs to be done. Are you one? Tanya nodded embarrassedly. Then there's no other way. The only way is to make you not a virgin, and this sacrificial ritual will naturally be broken. Wang Zhong's words were easy to understand. But it was so easy to understand that Tang Ya's brain suddenly crashed. Wait, what do you mean? There's no time to lose. Are you going to do it, or should I? Tang Ya, who was outside, blushed when she heard that. She immediately remembered what Wang Zhong said when she wanted a child with Wang Zhong. Are you going to do it, or should I? It seemed that she was the one who did it at that time. Although Tang Yaching was very shy, she also knew that in order to live and not let Song Hua have his way, this was the only way. So she closed her eyes. Wang Zhong understood what she meant. After that, What are you doing? Don't. Song Hua wanted to stop them, but Tanya had already attacked him. The two of them fought. Song Hua was beaten until he covered his head and ran away, but Wang Zhong had already completed his mission. The two of them snuggled together, panting. Roar. In an instant, the entire floor shook. Under the array, a huge black hand lay on the edge of the edge. Who summoned me? A hoarse voice shook Song Hua's legs. Master. Why didn't I smell the scent of a sacrifice? Song Hua pointed at Tang Yaching, trembling, and wanted to cry. She was a virgin, just now. Enough. I hate to be fooled. Those who fool me, follow me down. Before Song Hua could react, a huge black hand grabbed Song Hua. No. Whoosh. The black hand took Song Hua and disappeared into the black hole. At this moment, the mysterious energy disappeared, and Wang Zhong and Tang Yaching stood up awkwardly. Are you all right? Tanya rushed over and hugged Tang Yaching tightly. Sister, you've recovered too? Yes, Li Jie saved me at the last moment. Boo-hoo. Actually, he's not Li Jie. In front of her sister, Tang Yaching was like a child. I know. Looking at the two sisters, Wang Zhong touched his nose, a little embarrassed. The two sisters were also a little embarrassed because they didn't know how to face each other. After a long while, Wang Zhong said, Well, if you don't mind, the three of us can move out and live alone? Although Wang Zhong didn't say it directly, the meaning was very clear. The three of us can live together. Tanya nodded and pretended not to understand. It's more convenient for us young people to live together. Tang Yaching also pretended not to understand. Well, it's not bad for us to give our parents some alone time. Yes, I can continue to carry out Hell's missions if I live alone. I don't have to hide from my parents. Tanya sighed. Sister, so you've been Hell for a long time. You've been hiding it from us in the past. Tang Yaching sighed. No wonder you were often not at home in the middle of the night. You must have gone out to deal with ghosts in the middle of the night, right? Isn't that so? The two chatted as they went out. Wang Zhong was helpless. They didn't even say goodbye to him. Sigh. After the matter came to an end, Tanya returned home and told her parents that she had recovered her consciousness and was normal. This made Li Lihua and Tang Mingze ecstatic. They specially set up a banquet to celebrate their daughter's recovery. A week later, the three of them officially moved out. The place where they moved out was also a high-end residential building. Wang Zhong had bought it in full. To the family's surprise, Tang Yaching unexpectedly got pregnant first. After knowing this, Li Lihua and Tang Mingze were ecstatic. They finally had a grandson. However, Tanya had not been pregnant for a long time. Tanya guessed that it was because her three souls had been sealed and her body had been damaged, so she was infertile. In order to treat her illness, Wang Zhong had brought Tanya to many hospitals that specialized in treating infertility. Unfortunately, this illness was not a physical problem, but a soul problem, so no one could treat it. Knowing this, Tanya was very disappointed. Sister, in the future, my child will be your child. Tang Yaching touched her stomach and said, Don't worry. What's important is that our family is happy together. Wang Zhong also comforted her. With the comfort of her younger sister and Wang Zhong, Tanya sighed softly. Her mood was much better. As Wang Zhong and Tanya got together, Li Jie's soul in Wang Zhong's body became weaker and weaker. It was unknown when Li Jie's soul had disappeared. From that day on, Wang Zhong suddenly realized that he had a sense of taste when he ate. He knew that he had become a real person. Wang Zhong was very happy. His mission was finally completed. In the following days, the family lived happily together. However, he and Tanya did not forget their identity as Netherworld Masters. They rented a place to receive all kinds of otherworldly items and solve all kinds of troubles for them. Time flew. In the blink of an eye, 15 years had passed. During this period, the master of the Netherworld finally came back with a piece of troublesome news. The underground passage had been opened, and countless evil beings had begun to wreak havoc in the human world. No wonder there are more and more evil beings causing trouble recently. After hearing the news, Tanya's face darkened. Chapter 5:13. But you don't have to worry. Although there are many of these evil beings, a genius has appeared in the human world. He's called the Clairvoyant. With his ability, he can deal with these evil beings. After the Grim Reaper finished speaking, he looked at Tanya and said, You, on the other hand, had your soul extracted once. Your lifespan has been greatly reduced. Sir Grim Reaper, what do you mean? Wang Zhong heard the news and his face sank. The Grim Reaper sighed. It seems like you don't know. Tanya, didn't you tell him? Tanya squeezed out a smile and shook her head slightly. The Grim Reaper said to Wang Zhong, anyone whose soul has been extracted from their body will have their lifespan greatly reduced. I'm afraid Tanya won't live past 40. Hearing this, Wang Zhong's heart sank because Tanya was already 40 years old. That meant, then you guys chat. I'll take my leave first. The Grim Reaper reminded Wang Zhong of some things and left. Little ya. Wang Zhong looked at Tanya and didn't know what to say. Why didn't you tell me? Tanya said with a heavy expression, what's the use of telling you? It'll only make you sad. No wonder you look so haggard recently. Sigh. The two of them talked quietly. In the end, the two of them decided to tell Tanya Qing the news. What, sister, you can only live until 40. Tanya Qing cried when she heard the news. Sister, I don't want you to leave me. I don't want. Wang Zhong sighed. He wanted to comfort her, but he didn't know how to say it. After that, Wang Zhong would try his best to accompany Tanya until the end of her life. Half a year passed. One night, Tanya finally fell to the ground weakly. I feel so thirsty. My soul is about to leave. When one's soul was weak, one would feel thirsty. Wang Zhong knew this. He supported Tanya and called Tanya Qing to come back and see her sister one last time. Actually, it's good that I'm leaving. Tanya looked at Wang Zhong and whispered, I know that you and my sister are true love. Xiaoya, I love you too. Wang Zhong comforted Tanya. Hey, I'm leaving. You guys have to be good together. Don't bully my sister. Wang Zhong nodded vigorously. He had 1,000 words to say, but he didn't know what to say. Take good care of the children. Sister. At this moment, Tang Yoqing finally arrived. Sister, sob sob sob. Don't cry, silly sister. Didn't I tell you before that my lifespan is almost up? You should be happy for me. That was Tang Ya's character. No matter what she encountered, she could face it with determination. Furthermore, if it wasn't for you all, I would have likely died back then. To be able to live for so long, I am already very happy. Sis. Tang Yoqing threw herself onto Tang Ya's body. At this time, Tanya gradually stopped breathing. Tanya left. When she died, there was a faint smile on her face. She left peacefully. After Tanya's death, Li Lihua's parents-in-law cried their hearts out. That same year, Li Lihua kept complaining of stomach pain, so she went to the hospital for a checkup. Late-stage stomach cancer. When Li Lihua heard the news, she was very calm. Because at her age, she was indifferent to everything. Now that her youngest daughter gave birth to a son and a daughter, she was happy with Wang Zhong. She felt that there was nothing better in this world than this. Because she was sick, her eldest and second aunts came to visit her. Now, the three sisters didn't bicker as much as before. Sometimes, they would talk about their childhood when they were together. However, as the treatment continued, Li Lihua's body became thinner and thinner. Finally, after about 2 years, Li Lihua passed away. Honey, sob sob sob. Rest in peace. Tang Mingze cried sadly. Looking at his father-in-law's sobbing appearance, Wang Zhong sighed. Not too long ago, when did he cry like this when his wife left him? Wang Zhong couldn't help but hug Tang Yoqing tightly and say, Honey, let's go on a trip in a few days. Let's relax. Tang Yoqing nodded slightly. She hugged Wang Zhong and said, Okay. The next day, Wang Zhong received a very important piece of news. The passage that the evil creatures used to go to this place had been closed. According to the master of the netherworld, it was all thanks to the marvelous mathematician. Ever since the marvelous mathematician had been reincarnated, he had been an ordinary child in the countryside. The little bird that used to follow him had also found him. When he was young, the little bird had always helped him in secret. That was how the marvelous mathematician had become stronger. After receiving the news, Wang Zhong heaved a sigh of relief. He felt lucky that he hadn't attacked the little bird. In the following days, Wang Zhong had more free time. When he had nothing to do, he would travel with Tang Yaqing. Sometimes, he would teach his son and daughter. As for the otherworldly item, Su Jie, who always followed him, Wang Zhong often sent her out to check if there were any otherworldly items that needed to be dealt with. Su Jie had a lot of resentment. The main reason was that she had to work every day without getting paid. However, that wasn't the point. The point was that Wang Zhong and Tang Yaqing liked to show off their affection in front of her. This made Su Jie a little depressed. She could only ask Wang Zhong for help from time to time to appease her resentment. Wang Zhong also noticed that there was something wrong with Su Jie. Every time she looked at him, her eyes would light up. Wang Zhong understood that gaze very well. It was the gaze of love. In the blink of an eye, Su Jie was 66 years old. Wang Zhong and Tang Yaqing had become two old people. My lifespan is up. I'm so happy. That night, Su Jie smiled sweetly at Wang Zhong and Tang Yaqing. Tell me, which family will I be reincarnated into in my next life? Wang Zhong smiled. You've been working for me all these years. These are all good deeds. According to the Master of the Netherworld, you will definitely be reincarnated into a good family. Su Jie smiled happily. That's great. I can finally be reincarnated. I don't have to see you two showing off your affection anymore. Tang Yaqing smiled. Sister, you will definitely find someone who loves you in your next life. Yeah, I hope so. Su Jie looked at Wang Zhong reluctantly and sighed. It's a little strange. I wanted to be reincarnated a long time ago, but when the day comes, why do I feel a little reluctant? Wang Zhong opened his mouth, wanting to say something, but in the end, he didn't say anything. Instead, he walked over and held Su Jie's hand. What are you doing? Su Jie lowered her head in embarrassment. I will miss you, Wang Zhong said. I want to cry. Su Jie pursed her lips, feeling very uncomfortable. Tang Yaqing turned her head away, her eyes red. After all, she had lived with Su Jie for so many years. They were like sisters, and their relationship was very deep. At this time, Su Jie leaned closer to Wang Zhong and whispered, Actually, I have long forgotten about that scumbag. Do you know why? It's because I like you. Goodbye. Su Jie smiled and waved her hand. She walked to the window, and her figure gradually disappeared through the window. Old man, the number of family members around us is really getting fewer and fewer. Tang Yaqing sat on the edge of the bed and sighed. This is life. Yeah. In the following days, Wang Zhong cherished the time he spent with Su Jie. Their children had grown up and had their own achievements in the outside world. As for Wang Zhong, he felt that his body was getting worse day by day. Although he had already stepped down from his position in the netherworld, because he often came into contact with all kinds of otherworldly items in his early years, his body actually suffered from arthritis. This made Wang Zhong unable to sleep well every day. He was under a lot of mental pressure, and his body was weak. During a physical examination, he was found to have high blood pressure, high blood sugar, and diabetes. I don't have long to live. After leaving the hospital, Wang Zhong and Tang Yaqing supported each other and took a taxi to Tang Ye's grave. Honey, Yaqing and I came to see you again. We don't know where you reincarnated this time. You have to live well. As Wang Zhong spoke, he swept the floor of Tang Ye's grave. After returning, Wang Zhong fell ill. Since then, he had been lying in bed, and his body was very weak. Yaqing, it seems that this old man has to go first. Wang Zhong touched Tang Yaqing's wrinkled hand and sighed in his heart. Once upon a time, Tang Yaqing's hand was so delicate and tender. However, no matter how beautiful a person was, they couldn't resist the erosion of time. Now, Tang Yaqing was like him, an old man with one foot in the grave. Old man. Tang Yaqing's eyes were red. Go down first. I'll come over when the time comes. You must wait for me. Wang Zhong sighed. To be honest, he wanted to wait for Tang Yaqing. However, Tang Yaqing didn't know that the death of every life was just the end of a game for him. However, Wang Zhong didn't say this. He didn't want to see the disappointed expression on Tang Yaqing's face. A wave of tiredness hit him. Wang Zhong felt very tired. Dad, Dad. Dad, Dad. Right at this moment, the two children rushed in. After finding out that Wang Zhong was dying, the son and daughter immediately came to see Wang Zhong for the last time. Children. Wang Zhong smiled. Take care of your mother, okay? Yes, yes, Dad. Woo woo. The daughter and son-in-law cried. The son and daughter-in-law knelt by the bed and sobbed. Take care of yourself. Wang Zhong's hand touched Tang Yaqing's cheek, and then his hand slowly fell. Tang Yaqing cried and shouted, "Old man!" Tang Yaqing's shout echoed in his ears. Unfortunately, Wang Zhong couldn't respond anymore. Chapter 514. Mission Character, Nameless Lonely Soul Mission Objective. I want to restore my silly wife to a normal person. I want to be reborn. I want to become a human. Lifespan. 73 partners. 3. One is true love with you, the other is an accident, and the other is love with you over time. Descendants. 2. Your descendants are all ordinary. No one knows that they know. Achievement Evaluation. You have become an emissary of hell. You have helped people and gained the respect of many people. Reward obtained, 49,000 experience points. The reward this time was beyond Wang Zhong's expectations. It was actually so much. Thinking about it carefully, it might be because he completed the mission in advance. When he opened his eyes, the air in the room was a little stuffy. It seemed that it was going to rain soon. Wang Zhong walked to the window to open it. Suddenly, he seemed to have thought of something and went out immediately. Shan Shuang was mopping the floor. When she saw Wang Zhong coming out, she asked curiously, "Brother Wang, what's wrong?" "Something." Wang Zhong left without looking back. The reason why he was so anxious was that after experiencing this game, Wang Zhong thought of a very important thing. He remembered that when he went to Lu Jelly's house for dinner with Shan Shuang, the two little foxes in her house kept calling him. Later, he found out that they were worried about Lu Jelly's safety. For this reason, Wang Zhong lay outside Lu Jelly's house and observed for a long time. In the end, he found that Lu Jelly was sleepwalking. Originally, Wang Zhong did think that Lu Jelly was sleepwalking. However, after experiencing this mission, Wang Zhong found that Lu Jelly's situation was actually the same as Tang Yaqing's situation. Someone was controlling them and making them leave home late at night. However, Lu Jelly's situation was less serious than Tang Yaqing's. This was because Lu Jelly didn't seem to know how to open the door when she encountered it. Moreover, she was easily affected, causing her to wake up. Lu Jelly was in danger now. Someone was after her. Knowing this, Wang Zhong went out immediately. When he arrived at Lu Jelly's house, he looked up and saw that the lights were off. Wang Zhong took a look at his surroundings before leaping up. He didn't want to alert the enemy. Instead, he stayed outside the window to see where Lu Jelly would go next. Unfortunately, Lu Jelly slept very soundly. It could be seen that Lu Jelly's room was indeed very cool, which meant that there was an evil being in Lu Jelly's room. Wang Zhong continued to wait. Unfortunately, a night had passed and Lu Jelly was still fine. For the next few days, Wang Zhong came to check on Lu Jelly, but she didn't encounter any problems. Could it be that that person gave up? Wang Zhong frowned. He leaned against the window. Lu Jelly was preparing to rest as usual. Today, Lu Jelly was wearing a new set of pajamas. It looked cool, but it had a different style. Of course, Wang Zhong's focus was not on this. Not long after Lu Jelly laid down to rest, something unexpected happened. Lu Jelly suddenly got up, put on her slippers, and went out expressionlessly. This time, Wang Zhong took the initiative to quietly open the door for her. Lu Jelly went out aimlessly. Lu Jelly skillfully pressed the elevator and began to go to the first floor. It was already late at night, so there was no one downstairs. It was very quiet. As Lu Jelly walked along the small, gloomy path, no one noticed that Wang Zhong was actually following behind her. It seems that the means of the mastermind behind the scenes have become stronger. Looking at Lu Jelly's skillful walking, Wang Zhong thought in his heart. They were already about 2 kilometers away from home. They had already gone from a place with streetlights to a place without streetlights, but Lu Jelly didn't seem to stop. About half an hour later, something unexpected happened. On the side of the road, there was a commercial car parked. Lu Jelly came to the commercial car and stopped. A woman came down from the car. "Boss Lu, you're finally here." The woman sneered. She looked very beautiful, but with her words, she was terrifying at this moment. "Lu Jelly, as long as you die, I can really become the first sister in the company. I don't need to be suppressed by you anymore, haha," the woman said and commanded. Go to the river, jump into the river yourself." "Okay." Lu Jelly walked to the river by the forest expressionlessly. Wang Zhong saw all of this. He looked at the side of the road and saw that there were no surveillance cameras. With a move of his body, Wang Zhong walked out. "Who are you?" The woman looked at him in shock. Wang Zhong realized that he knew this woman. He remembered that when he was doing live streaming, he met her in the company. Her name was Feng Xiaoma, and she was a manager in the company. However, because of Lu Jelly's existence, Feng Xiaoma didn't have much power in the company. Wang Zhong didn't expect that Feng Xiaoma would want to kill him. "It's you." Feng Xiaoma recognized Wang Zhong. She gritted her teeth and said, "Why are you here?" "Of course, I'm here to see who wants Lu Jelly dead." Feng Xiaoma's eyes changed. Suddenly, she smiled. "Okay, you know everything. But little brother, can you help me keep this a secret?" "I'll thank you properly." Feng Xiaoma was not bad looking, at least better looking than Lu Jelly. Especially his figure, it was enough to make people drool. "Can I ask you some questions?" "What questions?" "How do you know these spells?" "You're so young." "You didn't know them from the beginning, did you?" Wang Zhong asked. "Oh, that's what you want to ask." "Actually, a fan taught me this. He's really nice to me and tipped me. I'm now #1 in my live streaming channel. He even bought me gifts." After knowing about me, he said that he would help me get rid of Lu Jelly. So, he sent me a spell called Soul Manipulation. I didn't expect it to work. "Do you want to learn it?" "As long as you're willing to keep this a secret, not only will I teach you, but I'll also teach you in bed." Wang Zhong said calmly, "No wonder your fan was seduced by you. Did that fan teach you in bed too?" "TSK, that's not it. As the saying goes, what you can't get will always be in turmoil. If I really got together with that fan, he wouldn't be so nice to me." "So that's how it is." Wang Zhong silently mourned for the #1 fan in his heart. "Lu Jelly, why aren't you going to die?" Feng Xiaoma thought that Wang Zhong had agreed, so he ordered Lu Jelly. At this time, Wang Zhong slapped Feng Xiaoma, Almighty Dragon of Heaven. Feng Xiaoma didn't even have time to react before he was slapped to death. Sure enough, the moves used in the game can be used in real life too. Wang Zhong mumbled. Then, he carried Feng Xiaoma's body and took out Wuji sword. Swish swish swish. The shadow of the sword flashed. Feng Xiaoma's body splashed into the water. The smell of blood attracted small fish, which ate Feng Xiaoma's body. After returning, Wang Zhong found a handwritten copy of Soul Manipulation in Feng Xiaoma's car. It must have been given to him by the fan. Soul manipulation was very simple. It was to find a person's hair or blood. Blood was the best choice. Then, the blood was put into a little person made of corpse oil. Through the chanting of the spell, the controlled person would fall asleep. The caster would give the little person an order and the controlled person would act according to the caster's orders. So that's how it works. Wang Zhong picked up a little person in the car. This was the thing that controlled Lu Jelly. Although the soul manipulation was strange, it was also very difficult to use. For example, the controlled person would wake up when they were disturbed by the outside world. Every time the spell was cast, it would cause the caster to be mentally empty and very tired. In short, there were many restrictions. Looking at the expressionless Lu Jelly, Wang Zhong shook his head and ordered the little person, "Let's go back." Lu Jelly turned around and went home. After escorting Lu Jelly home, Wang Zhong also went back. This time, Wang Zhong did it in passing. After interacting with Lu Jelly a few times, they were considered friends. Since they were good friends, there was no harm in helping her. The next day, Wang Zhong received a call from the real estate agent. The villa that he bought was finally settled. Finally, he didn't have to live in this small and narrow house anymore. "Brother Wang, you're moving," sigh. Knowing that Wang Zhong was leaving, Shan Shuangshuang was very depressed. "I'm afraid I'll have to stay for a few more days. There are some things that need to be renovated in the new house." Wang Zhong smiled. "Moreover, we're all friends. If you need anything in the future, you can find me." "Yes, yes. Brother Wang, you're so nice." After chatting for a while, Shan Shuangshuang went to work. These days, she found a new job as a clerk in a company. Although the salary wasn't high, it was good in terms of leisure. Wang Zhong sat alone and began to think. When he was dealing with his enemies, he received a message that extremely mysterious superpowered people had appeared in this world. Last night, he even encountered a superpowered person who knew soul manipulation. No one knew if that superpowered person knew other spells, but Wang Zhong had to pay attention to it. There were definitely other mysterious people behind the scenes. It seems that I have to be fully prepared. The first thing that Wang Zhong thought of was his own residence. His residence must be absolutely safe. It seems that after buying the house, I have to build a basement and store some food in it in case of accidents. At the same time, I have to always observe the people and things around me. After thinking about it, Wang Zhong went out. First, he found a professional renovation team to renovate the basement of the villa. This villa originally came with its own basement. Wang Zhong was expanding the basement this time. The construction period would take 2 or 3 months. After paying the deposit, he let the construction team start. As soon as he arrived home, a system prompt appeared in front of him. Ding! Successfully unlocked a new reborn creature. Creature: Rat Su-san. Mission objective: I'm a little mouse that loves to eat oil and rice. However, my family is really too poor, so poor that there's no oil at all. Even so, the little mistress of this place would still often give me leftovers to eat. Her name is Su Xiaolan, and she's really nice to me. However, one day she died. She seemed to be sick. I could feel that she was tired and hungry. I really wanted to help her, but I'm just a little rat. What can I do? I really want to help her and let her live a good life. Chapter 5:15. This time, there was only one newly reborn creature that was unlocked, which made Wang Zhong feel quite strange. Fortunately, the reborn creature was not very strange. Otherwise, if he was reborn as a girl or something like that, he would have no place to cry. Wang Zhong was not in a hurry to enter the game. Instead, he went online and began to research the habits of mice. After all, this time he was reborn as a mouse, so he had to understand this creature well. Overall, there was no problem with the survival rate after becoming a mouse. After becoming a mouse, its body was small. As long as it could drill holes, it was not afraid of being eaten by wild animals. As for food, rats were born to be good at stealing food. Not only were they extremely fast, but they could also jump and climb walls. Their agile skills and hiding ability made mice the only mammalian creatures that could live with humans but were not pets. Through the computer search, Wang Zhong knew that mice's claws and teeth were very powerful. By relying on these two things, they could constantly dig holes. In addition to strong cement, they could easily bite through wood and plastic, allowing them to shuttle back and forth in the house freely. There were usually more than a dozen mice in a nest. Although mice looked dirty, they actually liked to be clean. At least the nest they lived in was very clean. However, because mice lived with humans all year round and destroyed homes everywhere, basically everyone would beat them up. Unfortunately, since ancient times, not only did mice not disappear, but there were more and more of them. In some dirty and messy places, some people were even used to mice and gave up on dealing with them. Sigh, I didn't expect to be reborn as a mouse. After understanding the habits of mice, Wang Zhong couldn't help but feel a little annoyed. When he thought about how he would curl up in a narrow mouse hole and eat some of the dirty things that people left behind, he couldn't help but want to vomit. However, when he thought about it, when he was poor in the past, he had to dig tree worms and eat maggots outside. Eating leftovers and so on was not unacceptable. A few days passed peacefully, with nothing strange happening around him. Thus, one night, Wang Zhong opened the game panel. Enter the game. Loading the game. Reborn creature, Rat Su-san. Su-san was born in a mouse hole in a small village at the end of the Rong dynasty. In this era, the Rong dynasty was plagued by internal and external troubles. The court was corrupt and the border was constantly harassed. There was also a drought that happened once in 100 years. The farmers had no harvest. Many people were homeless and their families were separated. The poor environment even made it impossible for the mice to find food. Mission objective: I'm a little mouse that loves to eat oil and rice. However, my family is really too poor, so poor that there's no oil at all. Even so, the little mistress of this place would still often give me leftovers to eat. Her name is Su Xiaolan, and she's really nice to me. However, she died one day. She seemed to be sick. I could feel that she was tired and hungry. I wanted to help her, but I was just a mouse. What could I do? I really want to help her and let her live a good life. Mission completion reward, random EXP. A white light flashed. Wang Zhong felt that he couldn't breathe. He couldn't feel his hands and feet. Fortunately, the surrounding temperature was quite warm. He felt as if he was lying down somewhere and there were many of his kind around him. It seems that I'm in some mouse nest now. Squeak, squeak, squeak. The voice of a big mouse came. Mother, this family is so poor. There's no food. What should we do? I'm out of milk too. I'm so hungry. Yeah, I'm so hungry that I can't walk. It seems that I can only go out and try my luck. But there are so many birds outside. There are also weasels and snakes. It's too dangerous. The mother mouse was a little worried. But we'll starve to death sooner or later. Look at this family. They're so hungry that they're eating tree bark. We still have to raise so many children. While the father and mother mouse were talking, Wang Zhong couldn't help but sigh. Because he had become a mouse, he could understand these words. Therefore, he was very clear about the current situation. I didn't expect to starve to death at the beginning of the game. Wang Zhong felt very hungry at this moment. He wanted to drink some milk, but the mother mouse had already run out. Mother, I'll go out first then. You must be careful. Don't worry, I'll go to the garbage dump at the entrance of the village to try my luck. Okay. As the rustling sound rang out, the father mouse's voice disappeared. It seemed that he had gone out. At this time, a person's voice came from outside. Mother, I'm hungry. A little girl's voice came. Sigh, Xiaolan, bear with it. Your father went out to look for food. The woman sighed. When Wang Zhong heard this, he understood that he was living in Su Xiaolan's house. She was also the goal of his mission this time. He had to help Su Xiaolan live a good life. I don't want to eat tree bark and leaves anymore, Su Xiaolan whispered. Sigh. The woman in the house sighed again. When did she want to eat tree bark and leaves? It was really because her family was so poor that they couldn't afford to eat. In today's world, the outside world was in chaos, the people were homeless, and there were continuous droughts. Just last year, the 2 rivers near them were already dry, and the fish and prawns in the rivers were about to die. Even the rivers were dry, not to mention their crops. The ground had long cracked open with fist-sized cracks. Under such circumstances, it was difficult to grow grass, let alone grow crops. Now, half of the people in the entire village had fled here, preparing to go further away to try their luck. Their family actually wanted to leave long ago, but it was really inconvenient for them to bring their family with them. In the Su family, apart from Su Xiaolan, there was an older brother and a younger brother who was only 2 years old. In total, there were 5 people in the family. It was really too difficult to drag a family and wander outside, so when the other villagers left the village, they chose to stay. "Mother, I'm hungry." At this time, Su Xiaolan's younger brother, Su Xiaoqiang, touched his stomach and timidly hugged the woman's thigh. The woman could only hug Su Xiaoqiang and Su Xiaolan on her thigh and said with tears in her eyes, "Bear with it." This sound was really heart-wrenching. Soon, Su Xiaoqiang and Su Xiaolan were coaxed to sleep. Not long after, the door was pushed open. Xiao Chui, the person who spoke, had a loud voice. It was obvious that he was the head of the family. "Lower your voice, the children just fell asleep," the woman said. "Yes, my luck is not bad. I got a snake." "Such a thick snake, where did you get it?" "In the grass, I saw a snake skin. It was still wet, so I suspected that there was a snake nearby that had just shed its skin. I didn't expect it to be true." The man was called Su Wu, and he was the male lead of the family. He was a farmer and would occasionally go out to hunt. The family's life was originally good. But now, natural disasters encountered man-made disasters, and the family's life became more and more difficult. "This snake is enough for our family to eat for a few days. Xiao Chui, prepare some hot water and make a bowl of snake soup for the children." "Okay." The woman's voice was filled with joy. How many days had it been? They finally had a delicious meal. The children would definitely be very happy when they woke up. Listening to the conversation outside, Wang Zhong was also very happy for the family. But what made him worried was that his father rat had not returned yet. Soon, Su Wu skinned the snake, took out the internal organs, and cut the meat into pieces. After the snake meat was fried in the pot, he poured in the soup. Su Wu was also a hunter, so it was easy for him to tell that this snake was not poisonous. Today, when there was a lack of food, he did not even let go of the snake's internal organs. After washing them clean, he cleaned the internal organs and put them into the water to make soup. "Xiao Chui, I just got some wild vegetables. Go wash them." "Okay." The couple happily busied themselves, and the fragrance of the snake's soup gradually wafted out of the house. In the rat hole, the mother rat smelled the tempting smell and could not help but swallow a mouthful of saliva. "It smells so good. This family is too stingy. They don't even let go of the snake's internal organs." The mother rat hid at the entrance of the hole in the corner and secretly sized up the busy Su Wu and Zhou Chui couple. She sighed in her heart. Why is the child's father not back yet? The sun was about to set, and he still had not returned. Could it be? Thinking of the few weasels that often appeared at the entrance of the village, the mother rat's heart chilled. She had a bad premonition. The sun finally set. This guy did not light a candle because he could not afford it. They used firewood instead. The firewood in the stove was roasting, and the family gathered around, eagerly looking at the boiling snake soup in the pot. Su Xiaolan and Su Xiaoqiang had already woken up. Strictly speaking, they were actually awakened by hunger. When they woke up, they coincidentally smelled the fragrance of the snake soup, which made them wild with joy. "Dad, Mom, why isn't Big Brother back yet?" Su Xiaolan could not help but ask her brother where Su Xiaoqiang went. "Our family is poor. Your brother is already in his teens. He went out to work with other people," Zhou Chui patiently explained. In the village of this era, there were only 2 ways for the young people of poor families to survive. One was to be like Su Wu and be an honest farmer. Occasionally, they would go hunting in the mountains and get some game to eat. But in this era, the land could not be farmed, so there was no way to survive as a farmer. The other was to go to the county town and work. For example, working as a worker at an inn or a dock, or even as a servant in some rich families. These were all ways to survive. Su Xiaoqiang was now in his teens. His family was now so poor that they could not afford to eat, and they could not farm. So, he went to a nearby county town and found a job as a porter. Su Xiaolan nodded. Big brother left without even informing me. Your brother will come back to see you after he gets his salary. And that's good. Su Xiaolan smiled sweetly. Chapter 5:16. A pot of snake meat soup was finally served. Each child was given 3 pieces of snake meat. Zhou Chui carefully placed 2 bowls of snake meat soup in front of Su Xiaolan and Su Xiaoqiang. As for herself, she only had 1 piece of snake meat. Most of it was wild vegetables. Seeing this, Su Wu picked up a few pieces of snake meat for Zhou Chui and said, "Wife, you're already so thin. Eat more." "Husband, I'm not hungry, but you should eat more." "Sigh, it's chaotic outside now, and the harvest is bad. If you collapse, we won't know what to do." "Don't worry, my body is strong." "Wife, eat more. You still have to take care of 2 children. Without you, I can't live alone." As Su Wu spoke, he still picked up a few pieces of snake meat for Zhou Chui to eat. "Father, mother, eat together." Su Xiaolan raised her head and said sensibly. Now, Su Xiaolan was already 6 years old. Although she was young at this age, poor children matured early. At a young age, she already knew how to make her parents feel at ease and make a small contribution to the poor family. Xiaolan is still the most sensible. Zhou Chui smiled and didn't say anything more. She ate the snake meat soup in her bowl. At the entrance of the cave, the mother mouse couldn't help but swallow. After hearing the cries of the baby mice, it returned to the cave. "Mother, why isn't father back yet?" An older baby mouse couldn't help but ask. "Sigh, I don't know either." "Then what about the younger brothers and sisters?" The baby mouse nudged a baby mouse beside Wang Zhong and said anxiously, "They don't seem to be moving." "What?" The mother mouse was shocked and hurriedly came over to take a look. Sure enough, the weakest baby mouse's body was stiff and already motionless. My child," the mother mouse was very sad, but a dead mouse couldn't come back to life. It could only cry out sorrowfully. Late at night, the father mouse still didn't come home. At this point, the mother mouse was already in despair. The child's father must be dead, he must be dead. Wang Zhong was a little helpless. This was the life of a mouse. Not only did he almost starve to death at the beginning, even his father died. "Mother, what do we do now?" A little mouse squeaked. "Sure, lower your voice. Doesn't this family have snake meat leftovers? Let's go eat now." "But it's on the table." "I'll climb up." The mother rat was agile and nimble as it climbed up. In the dark, the mouse's eyes could also gather light. Many things could be seen clearly. At this moment, Wang Zhong was so hungry that his chest was sticking to his back. He opened his mouth and looked for food. Creak, creak, creak. Creak, creak, creak. Suddenly, the sounds of other rats cursing could be heard from outside. "Oh no, Mother and Big Rat are fighting." A slightly older rat said nervously. "This big rat is bullying us again. Let's go." "Yes, go save Mother." There were more than a dozen rats in the nest, and 3 of them could move on their own. They were about to reach adulthood. The 3 rats made up their minds and rushed out of the rat hole. "Mother, we're here to save you." In front of the mother rat, there was a huge rat. This was the rat lord of this area. Because it was so big, the nearby rats called it Big Rat. "Children, hurry up and leave," the mother rat shouted. But at this time, Big Rat rushed in front of a rat and bit it. Although Wang Zhong couldn't see, his sharp hearing allowed him to know what was happening outside. Rats can actually fight. This is really eye-opening. Wang Zhong muttered in his heart. He couldn't help at all now. He could only pray that the mother rat could win. Aya, there are rats in the house. At this time, Zhou Chui's voice came from inside the house. Mother asterisk Kerr, there's nothing to eat at home and these rats still don't give up. Su Wu got up and cursed. When Big Rat heard this voice, he said ruthlessly, just you wait. In the future, you won't be able to bear the consequences. Of course, this was rat language. Only rats could understand. To humans, Big Rat's words were, creak creak creak. Children, my poor children. The mother rat looked at the children on the ground and shed tears. In the battle just now, 3 children were bitten to death. The mother rat staggered back to the cave and watched as Su Wu skinned the 3 dead rats and prepared to eat them. Sigh, these humans are so hungry that they even eat us rats. How much meat can we have? It's too cruel. The mother rat couldn't help but say. To the mother rat's words, Wang Zhong could only squeak a few times in response. This child is quite obedient. The mother rat glanced at Wang Zhong and muttered. After the mother rat secretly ate a lot of food, it also had milk. Wang Zhong drank it and let out a big burp. After eating and drinking, a wave of tiredness came and Wang Zhong fell into a deep sleep. Although this meal was enough, a few days had passed and this family didn't have anything to eat at home. In addition, they had a grudge against Big Rat's family. Now that the mother rat was alone, she couldn't beat them at all. Fortunately, Big Rat's family didn't know that Big Rat's father was dead. Otherwise, they would have come to cause trouble. What should we do now? If this continues, our family will starve to death sooner or later. It seems that I can only go out and try my luck. Mother Rat sighed and quietly went out in the middle of the night. At this moment, Wang Zhong had opened his eyes a little. He could finally see the world clearly. This was a poor family. Other than wild grass and tree bark, there was nothing to eat. A while ago, because of the snake meat, this family had a few days of stability. However, for the next few days, Su Wu went out and came back empty-handed. He could only bring back some tender tree bark and wild grass. Even the wild grass was getting worse by the day. Most of them were withered. Husband, what should we do now? My youngest son is still young and can't eat these things. I also don't have any milk now. In the darkness, a woman's crying voice came from inside the house. It's all because I'm useless. I can't even find any wild animals in the mountains. Sigh. I'll go to the county tomorrow and see if there are any kind-hearted people who can give us some food. Yes, that's the only way. When Wang Zhong heard this, he couldn't help but sigh. This family was too miserable. However, all of this was limited by the weak productivity of ancient times. They really relied on the heavens to make a living. At this moment, Wang Zhong's sharp eyes noticed a huge rat climbing up the mountain to the stove. Such a big rat. Don't tell me it's a big rat? In addition to this big rat, there were a few ordinary rats following behind it. These rats were obviously starving and were rummaging around the stove. In the past, their actions were destined to be in vain because there was nothing to eat here. However, Wang Zhong noticed that there were a few drops of oil and a piece of meat on the stove. The smell of the meat and oil attracted these small rats and they all gathered around. Strange. This family clearly has nothing to eat. Why would they put a piece of meat there? Wang Zhong was suspicious. Suddenly, he noticed that there was a bamboo basket on the meat. The basket was supported by a pair of chopsticks, and the other end of the chopsticks was tied with a rope. He immediately understood that this family was preparing to catch rats. These rats were starving and carefully prepared to eat the meat. They were not worried about any conspiracy because in the past, they had often climbed up to steal food and had never had a problem. At this moment, the chopsticks under the basket were pulled away and the basket was buckled. Squeak, 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 squeak. There were a total of 3 rats, and they kept bumping around. However, the basket was buckled and they could not escape. To Wang Zhong's disappointment, although the big rat was big, its movements were extremely agile. At the last moment, it actually ran away with the meat in its mouth. Honey, we caught rats. Suwu ran out excitedly from the inner room and opened the door. Under the moonlight outside, the 3 rats in the bamboo basket were screaming in fear. What happened next was simple. Suwu reached in and grabbed 1 rat with each hand. With a gentle squeeze, the rats were crushed to death. At this moment, the big rat was hiding in the corner, trembling. At this moment, it noticed a black shadow running in from the door. "Mother, you're back," Wang Zhong called out softly. It was the mother rat. She seemed to be in luck today. With a big piece of meat in her mouth, she quickly ran towards the entrance of the cave. At the same time, the big rat noticed this and immediately rushed over. The mother rat felt that someone was chasing and hurriedly ran back into the cave. However, as soon as she came in, the big rat was guarding the entrance of the cave. "I was wondering why I didn't see your husband these days. I'm afraid he's dead," the big rat shouted. "Uncle, lower your voice. This family is looking for us. You're so loud. Be careful not to attract them," Wang Zhong reminded. "You little brat, you know quite a lot." The big rat looked at Wang Zhong strangely. If the cave in front of him was not so narrow, he would have gone in and started a massacre. "Big rat, let us go. We have never provoked you. Why do you keep bullying us?" the mother rat said in a low voice. "Humph, if it wasn't for your family always fighting with me for food, how could I live so miserably? Uncle, why are you making things difficult for other rats? If we work together, we definitely won't go hungry," Wang Zhong said. "What does a little brat like you know?" the big rat said disdainfully. "Although I'm young, I'm smart. I have a way to fill our stomachs. As long as you let us go, I'll find food for you when I grow up. You'll be our rat king," Wang Zhong said solemnly. "Squeak, squeak, joke. Are you telling me a joke? It's not funny at all." Wang Zhong sighed and explained, "It's true. If you don't believe me, when I grow up, we will go out and find food together. Okay? Don't talk about later. Where did the meat in your mouth come from? Do you have more?" the big rat asked the mother rat. The mother rat quickly nodded and said, "Yes, yes. There was a wild dog in the forest that starved to death. When I went over, I saw that the corpse was rotten. I picked it up from there." "Great, where is it? I want to know the specific location." The big rat was extremely excited. In fact, after listening to Wang Zhong's words, although the big rat did not say anything on the surface, in his heart, he felt that what Wang Zhong said was right. Instead of working hard to find food, wouldn't it be better if there were other rats as tribute? He could not help but glance at Wang Zhong, the baby rat, and secretly praised him for being smart. An ordinary little rat, at such a young age, actually thought of such an idea. He was really a rat genius. However, as the nearby rat king, he would not admit that Wang Zhong was smart. You're tuning in to the Narrate and Escape YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.